When was the last time I talked to you? Like 4 months ago?
Dude, forever. Well, on here, yes. We recording? Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording. You don't have to be up on the mics either.
Oh, no shit.
I adjusted them. I just got done.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can adjust the levels too.
I'm a little disappointed.
On what?
Cat ears.
Crystal broke them. She was too excited. Crystal Ray.
Yeah, huh?
She broke them.
Went to school with her. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I went to school with her. Yeah, also sweetheart. She works for UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was around during that time. That one UPS guy, mass shooting.
The shooting, yeah.
Yeah, and now ever since the Epstien thing, and now every time I recall a mass shooting that happened, I'm trying to figure out if there is a correlating or corresponding scandal from politics.
Come on, is it all coming to fruition? Come on, I've been saying that, dude. And everybody, I'm the tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, and I think we think a lot alike.
Frogs are gay.
Oh my god, everybody just they're all getting it.
Yeah, I teeter whether, because life is complicated.
It is.
And it's very random, but there's way too much.
There comes a point where it's mathematically impossible. With
the latest one, it's way too. There's way too many non-moving parts. Way too many moving parts that are lined up, I guess.
I kind of wonder, though, is that the way they're red pilling everybody? Because you figured they want to take the guns away. It's always a gun debate. And anytime something happens, a mass shooting, anything, it's take the guns.
I'm disappointed at Dan Crenshaw.
Well, there's a lot of them. It's him, Lindsey Graham. I thought he was doing great with the Kavanaugh stuff, and now he's another one with these red flag laws. So.
I always suspect him to be just a rhino to the John McCain's.
Yeah.
But the Dan Crenshaw, Ahab,
yeah, he
surprised me because now he's in favor of gun control rights and shit like that, and I'm just and I read he had a tweet where he was trying to justify it as, well, when the Democrats do it, it's for this purpose, and when the Republicans do it, it's for this purpose. And I'm just why are you attempting to go down that road? It's a nonsensical road that nobody on the right wants to even go down. You're trying to steer the car that way, and everybody in the back seat's going, dude, we're gonna fucking shoot you in the back of the head. You make that left turn.
Well, it's a slippery slope, because then at what point?
That's what I mean.
What point is it that anybody can say you're not deemed to have a firearm anymore?
Yeah, Fredo Cuomo.
Yeah, Fredo.
I'm gonna throw you down the stairs,
dude. Oh my god.
You see how this fucking
they're fucking crazy.
His New York accent starts thicking up.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying to be a New York tough guy. He's a bitch, dude. He probably would have got bitched by that dude.
Which I have done many times when I lived in Florida. When I was drunk, the drunker I got, the more New Jersey came out. Who fucking you?
Right, yeah, right. The two Utes.
These guys.
So what are we going to talk about,
I shot the clerk.
We've missed so much. I haven't been on it forever.
It's been 4 months, and I almost feel like aliens have arrived, announced themselves, and left. And that's how much we missed it all. I think the last thing we left off on was Mueller.
It was still the FISA, which they have still yet to.
It was still the FISA
declassify,
but we hadn't gotten to the point where he went to court yet, right? I think we were just at the press conference.
Might have been,
and then we were it was an off day. We were super fucking tired. Well, I was super tired, and I think we were just tired of talking about it.
Yeah, because we were beating dead drum. They weren't releasing any more stuff. Yeah. It was just kind of, we were an echo chamber.
It was over and over again. It's a bombshell. The walls are closing in. Yada, yada, yada. Mueller comes out. He has nothing. And then we were talking about it forever, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it today.
Well, so, yeah, I don't think they don't realize that they don't have to. I'm lost for words too, because I'm a little fried today. But
did you work today?
I did. Yeah, I was trying not to, but I'm so behind right now. We got whacked with 2 days of the rain that wasn't supposed to come to the afternoon. It rained all day. So
yeah, you texted me
playing catch up. I was supposed to be here Wednesday.
Yeah, you texted me, and I was just like, dude, I'm fucking. I
get it.
I slept like 5 hours after like working for 24 hours. I was just like, dude, I just got 5 hours, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, and then I came down here, and it's a mess.
Women, yeah,
just don't.
Women.
They don't fucking leave. They just don't clean up after themselves or put your tools away. I think the conspiracy that the 10 millimeter conspiracy is just all a woman conspiracy. They sneak into the shop
and they steal
the 10 millimeter.
Could be.
I think that's where it is. I think if you looked into a nail file, a nail drawer, nail polish drawer,
there's a plethora of them.
There's like 10 millimeters.
Could be
in there.
Could be. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I should have actually went back to our last thing to see what we talked about, just so I knew. But I want to say that they didn't. I guess they didn't rule on it yet, right? The Mueller investigation wasn't done, so now it's been ruled on that.
Barr just got hired,
right?
I believe.
But I think that was it. So he looked over it, and they basically vindicated Trump, but they're still saying that he didn't. It just seemed like I don't even know if Mueller even wrote the damn thing. They're all trying to say that he didn't. What's the legal term for vindicating Trump? Because everybody forgot that you're guilty till proven, or you're innocent till proven guilty. So they're all still trying to say that they didn't.
They were trying to.
I'm lost for the word.
Yeah, well, he was trying to. Not vindicate.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't think. It's.
But they're basically saying he didn't do that.
V word. Yeah. Well, he couldn't find.
They're saying he's still guilty, even though because they want him to prove him innocent, but it's not his job to prove him innocent. It's his job to prove guilty.
Yeah, it's his job to whether or not there's sufficient enough evidence to press charges. He's not the ultimate authority on whether or not someone is guilty. He's not even the authority on saying that someone is guilty or not guilty. All he does is present evidence, and that's it. And whether or not there's enough evidence to pursue...
To make a recommendation to whoever.
Yeah, make a recommendation to press charges. Then that goes to the DA or
But if you listen to any of it, he couldn't talk about any of it. None of it was all declassified. Yeah. So he almost made it sound like I don't even think he wrote it. And he didn't even do the investigation. He didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
And then he like had that one snippet of he can press charges after Trump's not president. And then he had to resend that like an hour later when somebody asked, like pressed him on it. He was like, all right, that was wrong. I'm not supposed to say, I wasn't supposed to say it because it's wrong. That word is on the tip of my tongue.
I can't think what the word was.
So, okay, 4 months. We have a lot going on.
A lot.
AOC and the squad being told to go back where the fuck you came from.
Yes.
Which was brilliant. And Trump fucking just blasting them on full blast. Even foreign news we haven't gotten. British Trump getting elected. The Colombian guy getting elected. There's this whole nationalism movement sweeping across the globe. The Italian PM, Prime Minister, shutting down immigration facilities and turning back refugee boats and going as far as persecuting the captains. And the latest is, of course, the big one, Epstien and pedophile.
So I put the post on Facebook in July, right? So I'm out the weekends. I do try to lay off the politics if I'm not. Well, I haven't. If you notice, I haven't even posted a lot of political shit on Facebook. I've been busy, and plus I just haven't. I kind of laid off a little bit. I don't want to beat a dead horse, so I figured some things happening. When they do, I'll start to talk about it. So as soon as Epstien got locked up, I put a post up. I said, listen, just so you all know, I'm going to let you know. I mean, we've talked before, either on here or in person, about it. And I said, I'm going to let a bunch of people know that I guarantee you he's never leaving jail alive. He will be suicided. Yeah. Know the difference. He will not leave jail alive. You know, he's Hillary. He's the thing that brings down the house of cards. So just make sure you know. So I'm out to freaking breakfast with my buddy's dad, who I haven't seen in a little bit. So we go catch something to eat at the diner, and I'm sitting there, and my phone, an older gentleman who's like a client who's become a friend. He's big Trumper, and we've talked a little bit about some of the stuff me and you talk about. He might have seen some of the interviews and stuff. So all right. I get a text message.
You got our one fan.
One fan. I get
you and my mom.
Yeah. I get a text message. Epstien dead. And I'm like, you're effing kidding me, right?
You're thinking it's the Babylon Bee.
I thought he was just messing with me, just playing around, right?
Yeah, like the Onion or something.
So then I Google, boom, it was there. Well, I don't have Facebook linked to any of the phones or nothing, so I go on and everybody's sending Messenger.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, like, do you know, like, you called it? And I'm like, it was only a matter of time.
One of the most amusing I found was when, like, Twitter was trying to push Trump body count to overtrend Clinton body count.
Trump body?
Yeah.
Maybe. Am I lost here? Because I don't.
You're not on Twitter, right? That much.
I'm not, but I mean, I didn't even know there was is there a Trump body count? Right. I've never even heard of a Trump body count.
That's what I mean. But Twitter is purposely trying to skew the trending numbers to push it away from the Democrats, which I am going to call from now on the kid fucker party. But now after the Epstien,
I saw that and I love that.
They're the kid fucker.
They
party.
are, right.
Now with the Epstien, you had this isn't an isolated thing either. You had the other guy too. You had, I think, two people.
There's a lot of people. I mean, the thing is, like I said, I'm fried.
Two high profile.
I should have made a list because there's so many people we're going to not talk about or miss that absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And the front runner on the Democrat side is who?
Biden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Creepy. Yes. Kid touching.
Yes.
Joe Biden.
Yes.
So you have kid fuckers getting caught, pedophile island, Bill Clinton, what was it, 30 times on that plane? Something like that?
Something like that,
And Joe Biden is the front runner of your party. That's a kid fucker party.
I don't know what anybody wants. I don't know. I can sit here and talk about it,
if this was Republicans, they would be branded kid fuckers
forever.
They
would never live it down.
They would never live it down. It would, but you have Fredo.
I know. Listen, it drives every day. It drives me crazy, and I have talks with like-minded people. And again, as we've talked, we don't see color, but everything gets spun into a racist narrative. You're called a racist, you're called whatever, and I really think that the powers that be want a race war, or they're trying to just do anything they can to just divide
watch the world
people.
burn.
I really do. I hate to say that. I really do think that. Their biggest fear is unity from everybody.
Yeah.
That's what it is. To realize what's been going on and to be red-pilled or whatever pilled you want to call it, and just to have an awakening to say, this shit's been fucked up for decades. Let's fix it.
Last time we talked, I told you the Democrat. Remember, we had this discussion. The Democrats are having a bad year. Yeah. Like a really bad year. And it is just, it's not getting better for them. It's just getting worse and worse, which is a great sign. Now, they had the electoral college speculation, and it shows that Trump is just crushing it. I don't think it's a Walter Mondale, Ronald Reagan situation where he's just gonna crush it.
I hope so, but I'm still worried because as much as I think there was a lot of silent majority with the last election, Dan Bongino we've talked about.
Yeah.
I was listening to something on the way over here. The Black Italian. I've been trying to catch up on him on some of his stuff because I haven't really just had the time to listen. And he was saying about all the false stuff they put out there and just how they just keep saying and saying and saying. And I feel like as much as this stuff happens, like with Epstien and some of the stuff comes out to light and people are forced to report on it, there's still so much false shit pushed that people believe. Yeah. That if it's said enough to them, it becomes truth. They say it and they say it, but people don't even. Is it what was the Obama signed in? What was the act?
DAA bill?
The one act where they could use propaganda in their favor. Oh yeah, I forget what the actual thing is.
It was it was outlawed after World War II, I think it was, and then I think it was outlawed during the Vietnam War. It was after World War II because during World War II they could use whatever they wanted.
I may have saved that.
And then it was reversed where the United States can use propaganda. But that's my closer is I'm not voting for kid fuckers.
Never.
That's my closer when I get into an argument with somebody on the left. I can't in good conscience.
I don't think I at this point I don't think I could ever vote for a Democrat again.
Regardless of polls or propaganda or just in general, the silent majority, a good factor in seeing where the energy is rallies, and he's got
yes
all the energy. I mean, he is.
No, he's killing it.
He's packing. He's over
stadiums.
Yeah,
and they're waiting 24 hours a day before they're camping out. I mean, that's insane.
He's overpacking them and overflowing them, and even people that are turned away at the gate, still wait outside just to hear through the walls.
Right.
And you see the left side what they're pulling, and they are pulling nobody.
Nothing.
They're like maybe several hundred, and that's like a high number for their top candidate. I mean, Joe Biden's doing fucking rallies in high school gymnasiums, and they're all old. They're all old black people that are just trying to relive what they think is the good old days. But like I said, a good indicator is where is the energy and who during a rally where he goes whenever he goes to somewhere. I mean, when Trump enters a room, he sucks the air out of it. Anywhere he goes, he sucks. There was this when A$AP Rocky was released from Sweden, everyone was commenting. All the haters are just, you're just trying to get clout. And I always put Trump, and I put Trump in big names.
Right.
Trump is trying to get clout. That's like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Before he was president, he would suck the air out of a room. And now he's president, and you think he's trying to get clout, trying to get a rapper, some B-level rapper.
Exactly, a nobody.
A nobody. He really is not. This made him famous.
I did find it. Here you go. On December 29, 2012, President Barack Obama signed H.R. 4310, the 2013 National Defense Authorization Act. So it's basically Section 1078 of the bill authorizes the use of propaganda inside the U.S., which had previously been banned since 1948 when Smith-Mundt Act was passed. So it's just crazy how they can just continually lie, and that's what bothers me about stuff. Why people are not getting sued for libel or slander, or it's just they just blatantly lie. Even before I got a shower, before I came over, and you're hearing them like blast Pat Toomey. Pat's not one of my favorite people, but it's just lies. If you or me ran for local politics, they would just dig up some stupid thing we said on the playground when we were kids and lie. Right.
I'm sure I've said a million things.
I really wonder how many people, and I'll give you as all ideas. So make sure you take screenshots of my Facebook so you can use it against me when I run for political office.
Well, that same NDAA is the indefinite detention one, I think also, where it allows the indefinite detention of an American citizen without charge or due process.
Okay, so kind of what the Patriot Act did.
Yeah, basically, for like the Patriot Act also, where it allows they don't have to charge; they can just scoop you off the street, throw you in a cell,
hold you without habeas corpus,
and not inform anyone they took you. Where you have a legal right for someone to be informed that you have been,
you would think, get your representation or something out of throw you in a freaking hole somewhere.
Well, you have a legal right to have somebody informed. Usually, it's not a phone call. A lot of people mistake it that you're owed a phone call. That's not true. You're not really. They don't have to give you a phone call. But what they have to do is put your name in the paper that says you were arrested. How many people read the paper today? They have to inform the public. So the 6 cops, they get shot. Well, shot at. Now, I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see the cop putting the blood, spraying the blood on himself?
No, was that a real thing? I heard that, but I didn't know if that was a real thing or somebody was trying to push propaganda. There's
YouTube. It's a news helicopter is going around the scene. I think it's a news helicopter.
It was.
It's going around the scene, and in the middle of it, there's these 2 cops, and one cop gives another cop this thing, and the cop starts spraying it on himself. And it's dripping on the ground, and it's red blood. It looks like blood. His arm starts looking like blood. Starts red. It's all red.
Really?
Yeah, you should. I'm wondering, I'll clip it in.
Has anybody done any research to find out if it was like mercurochrome or some kind of? I don't know.
What's mercurochrome?
Remember the stuff that came in the dodder? Like if you got a cut or something.
Oh, in case you get cut, it's sealed.
Or no, if you did, you'd put it on. It was like an antibiotic or a healing something. Right. I don't even know if they use stuff like that. I think it was mercurochrome.
Is it red?
Yes, it's an orange ready type.
It's an orange ready thing. Maybe that's it.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to give him.
I
mean, with the helicopter flying around, why would you?
Arkam's razor. If what seems the most sane thing is probably that's what it is. So
I don't know.
Maybe,
I would hope so, or maybe there's
the,
some kind of something. If I don't know,
look up the
because
you can look it up on YouTube.
When it all happened, I didn't even know that was happening either. I was out to eat with a friend that night, and I happened to go on Facebook, and a local law enforcement friend of mine must have posted, look at the stuff that's going on over in Philly, and he was like 3 cops shot, and then I asked the lady at the restaurant.
I think it was 6 cops shot and 2 cops shot.
So they went to serve a warrant on this guy.
Right.
And I think they took one person into custody, and they got halfway through the warrant or halfway through the house, and the dude started shooting up through the floor.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I guess it was a hostage situation.
He was in the basement?
No, I think up. I don't know. Yeah, he might have been in the basement.
In the basement, shooting through the floor?
I didn't get all the stuff. I do have a friend who is a cop over there, and it was his district. He was actually off that night, but he said 2 of his buddies did get hit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't ask specifics.
I think it was 6 cops shot at and 2 cops shot.
Okay. I didn't follow. But then that's another thing. So then they had the prosecutor or the DA or somebody?
Kasner.
Yeah, he was there, and so they're trying to cut the guy's sweetheart deal? My thing is, not that I'm anti-cop or I'm pro-cop. Like, I believe in the Constitution. I don't like the police state. But if you were doing something and they served a warrant on you and you start shooting at cops, they should have gave the guy a headshot. Like, that's just the way I look at it. If you're going to start shooting at people and engage, you deserve to be killed.
Yeah.
But, and then the videos and they were showing people harassing the cops, and it wasn't even like they were just white cops in a black neighborhood. They were black or African American cops. Well, they were just giving them all shit for no reason. Like,
public trust is gone. Yeah, there's no public trust no more, and this didn't happen overnight. Where the public trust has just disappeared. It's been a gradual decline for several decades, and it corresponds with the war on drugs and other, municipal laws and state laws and federal laws that just take away people's rights. Now, I mean, if you tell a child all through their life that they have these rights, and then all of a sudden those rights disappear from you being told them to you being in front of a judge, then it erodes trust. You don't have a right to property anymore. You don't have a right to not be unfit.
It's an antiseptic used for minor cuts and scrapes.
No, I thought I was asking.
No. I'm listening about that, but that's why I did.
No. To look up the video.
Oh, the video. Okay.
I'm gonna put it up, but just see if you see it. But yeah, so you've had the government get larger, and the larger the government has gotten, the less public trust there is, and that affects the poor first, because they're the first ones that can't legally afford to fight ridiculous laws. So that's what's happened. It's been a gradual decline to the point there's no public trust, and you have the state hiring a business to enforce law. There's no accountability there. They're accountable to a contract. They're also obligated to follow that state or municipality's policies, where a sheriff can just go fuck off. I'm not following that shit. You have to take me to court to have me follow that.
So it says here, some people are claiming one cop is pulling out a bottle of iodine to treat his buddy's wound, but it doesn't look that way to me at all.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah,
he's dumping it on there. I mean, looks like a spray or something. I mean, I know there are iodine sprays and stuff like that. And what you're saying, Mark Crone.
Well, maybe they don't use it now. Maybe it is a
It could be something else too.
Yeah, something that I'm not even sure about.
But the guy gets back in the car. I mean, it isn't like he's going to like an ambulance or anything to get treated. I believe that's how it went in the video. From what I remember, I saw it briefly, but I thought it was suspicious.
I did hear about it, but I'm like, right. Well, now I
wasn't definite about it. I posted it on Facebook. I was like, why is this cop?
They're supposed to have a protest tonight, I think, for the guy.
What's going on?
They're supposed to have a big protest now for the guy. They're for whoever the subject was.
Yeah, to free him. He's not good with black people, or African Americans should be able to carry guns. But this is.
Can we talk about that? Because, man, I'm not going to say anybody's name, but there's somebody that engages you all the time, and I had to delete them and block them. Because, honestly, I'm not saying...
Brian, I don't think he watches this anyway.
I knew him and his brother in school, and honestly, I hate to say, I want to say he was probably one of the racist people I think I ever met.
Well, black people in general...
Well, they can't be, supposedly.
Are one of the most racist people.
So to racism, right? So I had a little issue.
When I was a kid, it was bad for black people to listen to anything other than black stuff. They would be called a sellout. You know, if a black person liked Nirvana or something like that, they would be called a sellout. You got to listen to hip hop and all that shit. While all the white kids are fucking banging their heads to Cypress Hill and NWA.
Everything.
Black people didn't step over that line. Not all of them. Mm-hmm. Most of them didn't step over that line to something, you know, if something sounded good, usually if something sounds good, it sounds good. You like it, you know.
I listen to everything.
That's what I mean. But back in the day,
it's got a good beat, or if it tells a story or something, I love it.
Yeah, when I was a kid in high school, even younger, they didn't step out. They would be called. They'd get side-eyed by other black people. So they're one of the most racist people on the planet.
You get a lot of heat, man. You post stuff, and everybody's got to engage and try to. You get a lot of heat.
I love it though.
I know, I get it. I don't have the energy. I posted something about the Betsy Ross thing, so we missed that too. So the whole thing with Nike.
Colin Kaepernick and.
I mean, I don't care. Like my whole thing is, it gets me mad about conservatives. Is they'll be the same ones who claim a baker shouldn't have to make a gay couple a cake.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I was saying in my Facebook post. Like, cause I just seen like it flood everybody's complaining about. It's like, listen. We live in a free market society. You know what I mean? It's the free world. Like, if Nike wants to have Colin Kaepernick as their spokesperson, so be it. Hurt them in the pocketbook. Don't buy their shit.
I don't buy Nikes anyway.
I don't either.
I don't buy expensive shoes anyway. I go to Walmart and buy $25 pair of shoes.
Well, so I'm not saying I haven't bought Nike. I wear, like, because I play ball on the weekends, I have Nike cleats that I've always had. But, I mean, I've been an Adidas guy since... middle school. I just like Adidas shoes because I ran, so I just like Adidas shoes. So
got the old school shell tops.
No, they have the Marathon 10s. They were like a throwback from the 80s or the 70s. I just love them. So I put a post up because I was just so sick and tired of my feed blowing up. I'm thinking, you guys are supposed to be all about free market and this and that, then let Nike do what they want. Just don't buy their shit. But to complain about it like a bunch of crybabies, and that was my comment. So I just put up like, listen, if Nike... If Nike don't want to do that, then whatever. Like, just remember, vote Trump 2020. And that was it. It wasn't like I was trying to get in a... So then somebody, not saying a name, he's Hispanic. Right. Then I went up talking to him after. He said that somebody hacked his...
Is it Manny?
No. He said somebody hacked his page.
Jesus?
I'm not saying.
All right, I ran out.
He said, you racist.
Raul.
He said that somebody, because then I messaged him privately. I'm like, yo, dude, like, what the F is that? Like, what's going on? Like, another person I've known, like, almost my whole life, all through elementary school and all.
Right.
And then it took a while for him to get back, and he's like, dude, like, I don't know what that was. My laptop was open. I'm going to find out who it was, and they said some stuff. So whether that was true or false, I don't know. But they, like, went on, and they started, like, this whole shit, like, you Trump supporters, all you racists. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, like, and I don't need to explain myself, but for you to say that shit, like, dude, like, you know me. How many people, And then your buddy... had to go in and like all the comments. So then, like, it got to the point where they started offering.
Just say Brian.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not giving him. Brian. I'm not indulging him.
All right.
So
Brian,
he
understanding.
You would see everything that person wrote. He was liking. So I'm thinking, like, wait a second, you friended me. So like, you're gonna go on to like troll. You know what I mean? Like, first off, I'm old enough that I'm not fighting anybody in the backyard over a political view. That's stupid.
I got old.
I am right.
I'm too fat.
But then he starts. But then I was worried too because, you know, everybody's so tough on the keyboard and they don't know, who watches your page, who sees anything.
Right.
And he started attacking the military, saying, you and all your military buddies, what was your military status? Now, first off, I never claimed to have any military status. A lot of people see videos and things that I shoot. You know, I go run around, run and gun and shoot. But then, like, I had buddies like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, and I'm like, yo, like, don't worry. Like, don't start running your mouth and leave a fucking address on there because you don't know who's going to show up at your house. And I don't want to be the dude, like, wrapped up in that shit neither. So, but, like, what bothered me was everything
He's anti-gun.
Well, everything he saw, your buddy, was liking it, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I was just like, done.
My best friend.
And I seen him, like, the way he engages you, and he's got a comment. I'm like, done. Like, you friend, I don't need it.
No,
right.
Yeah.
Well,
when I see him comment, I'm just like,
am I
come on. I got a big one.
Am I like a terrible person that I say like you read the comments and things aren't even spelled right or used in proper context? And I'm not like a grammar Nazi, but I'm like, you hear them talking as they're typing, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, do you understand what?
What do you say? He's anti-gun, which boggles my mind.
I don't know. I thought they were corrections officers. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
I don't fucking know.
But I thought his brother was. He's the twin.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Because when you posted that, that's why I told you who his name was. I'm like, and you're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm just like,
well,
like just put your fucking name on there. Like, I'm not going to be like fucking,
well, it's
shoot a road. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
It's trying to be
conservative, enlightening road. Like, just put your fucking name, man. Like, I don't get it.
Cool.
I don't.
I miss when black people were cool.
I don't need to be cool. I just want to be me. I don't want to be fucking anything but me. You know what I mean? I'm not in a dick comparing contest or anything, but I just want to be me. I just want to live my fucking life and that's it.
Yeah, I love pulling a big fish.
No, I get it. I get it. I love you.
To me, I'm just like, it's.
But I see you right.
I perk up on the couch. I go, oh yeah, here we go.
You get a lot of flack, dude. You're just trying to preach knowledge, and fucking people just hate you for it. I don't get it. It's so stupid.
People hate the truth.
I know. See, we could talk.
It's weird because I do the police thing, and they fucking start yelling at me about the police thing. I'm like, dude, if you look at it, how it's set up, they're a fucking contracted business. That shouldn't be like that. That's it should be just the sheriff.
I got a quick
that has constables and deputies. That's how it's worked.
It's funny. I got a quick story on that. And again,
they'll yell at me. You call me, and I'm like, dude,
no,
that is a leftist ideology to have the state contract a business.
It's a police. It is a police state.
That's the definition of the police state.
Right.
It's you've created a bureaucracy in law enforcement. That's not how it is. There should be somebody that's accountable that you elect.
So I know somebody who just went through the academy. They were going through the academy, and then they opted out. I won't say who. They went through, and I had a conversation with them.
Manny?
I think, nope.
Jesus?
But
Raul?
They might have been. I think it was Raul again. Yeah. They were in the process of going through the academy, and they have a lot of stuff going on in their personal life, like new child, a bunch of other stuff. So a lot of stress, a lot of stuff going on. And I think they just had I wouldn't say a breakdown, but it was just overwhelming.
Right.
And I talked to them, I'm like, they're just trying to do it. They're trying to break it down. But I'm like, you're right. Like, it's the military. I'm like, you don't realize you've never went through boot camp. You don't know what all that. I said, they are going to break you. Yeah. That's it. I said the same thing with an academy, whether it's your county, state, township, they're going to try and break you. They're going to. But he was like, I'm just trying to ask a question, and I don't want to fill this out wrong. And they're screaming at you. And I'm like, it's just the way it is. But I said, it's a shame because the police of Mayberry, long gone. Yeah. When people used to like the cops, they'd hang out. And I know I know law enforcement, some guys, they're trying to do things. They're trying to interact. They'll see kids in the inner city. They'll throw the ball with them. They have a snowball fight, trying to have fun.
That's all meaningless shit.
But it's just one of them things, there's no reason to bred or train these people to just, there's no reason to break the psyche to make them the military. There's just no reason for it.
That's where it's going.
It is, and it has
That's
been
what
for
I'm
a long
saying.
time.
It's a business. It's a bureaucratic agency that there's nothing you can do because in a bureaucratic agency, everyone's at fault. And when everyone's at fault, nobody's at fault. That's why you need an elected official that you can point to and go, why are you militarizing the sheriff's office in our county? We're going to vote you out because we don't like that.
Well, which is crazy because there's still a Gloucester County Sheriff and Atlantic County Sheriff and all that, but everything's township. It should. It's a shame it doesn't go back to county sheriff, and the county sheriff oversees, and they're all sheriffs instead of township cops.
The state, down to the municipality, has created incorporation and incorporation, involuntary incorporation. It used to be a town would incorporate, right? And then they didn't have a judge either. There was no such thing as a municipal judge. There was no such thing as a municipal police. There was none of that thing. The municipality did not have the power to enforce laws or oversee laws, the judgment of them. It was a county sheriff and a county judge, and that was it. And then the state, I think Illinois was the first one, and then the state allowed incorporation, where a town can incorporate and have their own judge and police force. But it was a business, and you had to elect the judge. And that's what happened. Bureaucratized. Yeah, that's it.
Something like that.
I know what you're talking about. They bureaucratized law, and that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a separate office that does law. It's supposed to be a separate office that writes law. There's supposed to be a separate office that enforces law, and there's supposed to be a separate office that makes judgment of law. And that's it. The three branches, and that's filtered all the way down.
I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but the thing I'm torn with too is I just don't know if even being a police officer is for the faint of heart, because there is no public
trust.
There's not, and even if you have decent people, there's no respect there neither.
Even if
you take the business out of it, the problem is if there's laws, like you said, there are laws.
Right.
People, they're supposed to police them laws, but then people just there's no respect for law enforcement today. That's the other problem too. It has, right.
Well, the reason why it's eroded is because they're choking people to death for selling loose cigarettes. So if you have the state murdering people over some petty shit, or locking people up over petty shit where there's no victim, then everybody's like, "What the fuck's going on over here? You're just an invading force. You're not really protecting us. You're just imposing policy that we don't even like." So they're not even the police.
Well, I know the cigarette thing, but now the Michael Brown thing. They were just, Elizabeth Warren just jumped on that bandwagon.
He was Michael Brown was wrong. He was trash.
Well, she's got everybody in an uproar. Supposedly, she's
what was the anniversary of it?
Yeah, 5-year anniversary. Yeah. Now she's actually jumped a little bit in the polls. She's behind Biden now, so I guess she's the number 2 runner because now she's. And that's why I went back to saying about propaganda and slander because they were saying, I don't know why the cop or whoever didn't jump right on that and file a defamation or a libel suit because now she's starting to get people to back her to say he shouldn't have been murdered. He was murdered by the police.
I don't think you can do that to a elected official.
I don't know.
I don't think you do slander or anything. It's laws for them and laws for you. That's another problem that has eroded public trust.
Yes.
The classification of we're supposed to be a classless system, but
see, this whole comes around full circle because if you get back to Epstein, I think there's going to be a lot of people that once this all finally comes out, they're going to go down because you're right. With the Epstein case and with the FISA case, with the whole Russian collusion stuff with Trump, it is because there are 2 sets of rules. So Epstein, they knew he was fucking kids.
Yeah.
Or he was, whether he was or wasn't, or he had the madam and he was setting it up for dignitaries and politicians to fuck kids. They all knew. And then I think he did an 18-month stint. And then
back in 2004, I think
5, something like that. And it was a revolving door. He got to go out on work for at least 6 days a week, 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day.
They just the door was unlocked, and it was like, go do what you want. Okay, come back and sleep.
He was on house leave, pretty much.
And there was
for soliciting a minor.
Yeah.
And they charged him with trying to solicit a prostitute.
Yeah.
when the kid wasn't even a prostitute.
Now we're not.
So they turned the kid into a prostitute.
Yeah. Now we're not scumbags, but if that was me or you, we would do basically
5
life.
years,
Whatever it was.
Whatever, and
forever.
We'd be on the sex offender list.
Yes.
On an app where we can't hand out candy.
Right. Yep.
During Halloween.
Be on the list.
Or out of our vans.
For real. Yep. But it's crazy. So that's what they were talking about too. And then they also said. So there's a whole conspiracy behind that too. I don't know if you want to get into that or how deep down the rabbit hole we want to go. So I don't even know if I believe if he's really dead or if he's. I don't know if they killed him or I don't, because there's photos that were released they were credible photos supposedly.
Yeah.
The photo doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
If you compare the photos to him, the nose, the ear, the brows, the cheeks don't look like him.
It looks bigger than it should be.
It does, which is crazy.
It looks like a weird head. I don't know if that's inflammation.
But the nose, your nose wouldn't change. Like if you have a straight nose on the bridge,
unless it was broken during the struggle.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't. You could be right to think about that.
But the inner ear. Yeah.
You see the inner ear canal and all. Like your inner ear canal does not change.
Now the most compelling out of all this conspiracy is the Reddit tweets. 40 minutes, 48 minutes an hour before it happened. Or before it was publicly known by anyone.
Well, I don't know how credible these sources are neither, but there's other things that have come out too. I don't know if it's
somebody that threw a dart, closed their eye and threw a fucking dart and it landed right on a bullseye. But there was 2 tweets. Well, they're not tweets. There was 2 postings on Reddit. One that said that Epstein, they were there at the body and they were trying to administer CPR or whatever the reviving procedures are. And the guy was pretty dead, or girl. It's supposed to be PC over here, or him or her or it. That the individual recanted all these medical terms, that the layman would have no idea what the fuck it meant, but someone in EMT would fucking spot right away. And then I think 10 minutes after that, or 15 minutes or something, a relatively short time after that was posted, someone claiming to be a guard or a toll guard or a gate guard or whatever said a military vehicle came in and somebody.
That's what I was going to read.
Somebody came back out and the person in the back seat was in military
garb. Yeah, it says this is it.
It had a hat over that was dark, and he was like, "I swear to God, it looked like Epstein."
Yeah.
So this is some John Grisham, Tom Clancy shit. You know what I mean? Where it's some deep state shit where they're doing body swaps. So So the EMTs, they're not in on it, and they're working on a body that looks like Epstein. I mean, so they get it out of a morgue.
Well, so there's other things.
They heat it up or something. They get a body that looks like Epstein from the morgue. They put it in the microwave for like 1 minute.
If you saw that photo, though, which I could blow this up and show you,
but you have people working. You have EMTs working. The EMTs aren't. Unless they're fucking getting paid off and they're fucking telling them that if you say one word about this, we're going to murder your entire family and we can do it.
Right.
They're Heisenberging them. I'm the one that knocks.
Well, again, because this whole thing keeps coming full circle. Yeah. So it goes to everything. So this is somebody that got touched in prison, right? He was got to. So whether he either was or wasn't, or he was switched out or they killed him.
Right.
He was touched. But then they want to take your guns away because you should trust the government, take the guns away, and then let the government keep you safe. Yeah. But they can't keep the most high-profile prisoner right now next to El Chapo alive in prison.
It's the Trump is Hitler, take our guns.
Yes.
That mentality.
So that thing you were talking about.
They don't live in the real world.
If this is it, it was posted by an anonymous ID. It's Swam 8. And it says, not saying anything after this.
Manny?
What's that?
Was it Manny?
Might have been. It was Raul.
Jesus?
Not saying anything after this. Please do not try and dox me. But last night after 04:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair.
04:15 count. Does that mean...
I was wondering if it was for...
An inmate count? When they do a count of...
I don't know if it was inmate count or if that was like what time in the morning they took.
Dufresne! Dufresne, get your ass out here!
Or if they were talking military, or if they were using military time.
You know what happened? Epstein's cell was actually empty, and there was a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress.
Could have been. That's some funny shit too,
and
right?
It was a hole, and he rolled out
like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, so Dufresne. Yeah, Andy Dufresne.
I forgot what they were. But so
I had to push through that joke. I had to get more detailed, so you got it.
I'm like, wait a second.
Dufresne. And you're just like, oh, I don't even know what the hell.
Yeah, I didn't. Andy, yes. But it said, took him from in a wheelchair, front cuffed, but not one triage nurse. Says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip ban shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself, ? Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number. Yeah. And a guy in green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out.
And that was before.
That was 8/10/19 Saturday.
That was before
at
any
7:44 a.m.
That was before any information was made public about his death.
Yes.
And that was, I think, after somebody commented.
But so I don't know what the 0415 was. Was it 0400? Was it 0415 hours? That's what I was thinking. 4 a.m. Military time's what?
It's still 4:15 a.m.
Right.
It's still.
So was it 4:15 a.m. count?
1600 is 4 o'clock. I think 11, 12. Yeah,
but then,
13,
but see,
14, 15. So the 4 o'clock is 1600.
So the conspiracy for me, I'm not sure, because if Bill and Hillary were smart, unless they didn't touch the guy.
Because, I mean, it's not. He has a lot there. I mean, there's not just Hillary and.
Well, there's the Prince.
There's a lot of fucking. There's more than even the Prince.
Well, they're saying even. I know you like movies and all, but they're saying like Tom Hanks. They're saying Spielberg. They're saying Bill.
I do like movies, but I know, but I don't like them as much as
as not fucking kids.
Fucking kids,
right? But the thing is, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, like we even said before, like I think Hillary could have shot somebody on TV and they would like say, well, it was justified. Yeah. I mean, I think they're trying to make this whole pedo thing almost like normalized, like well, it's an illness or they don't know what they're doing, like to normalize it to make it seem like it's okay. It's okay unless it's your kid getting fucked.
They have little kid strippers going to fucking tranny bars.
Another thing, the whole thing comes full circle. Like how could you say pedophilia is wrong, but then you're letting a tranny teach your little boy how to twerk and getting
fucking money thrown at him in a fucking tranny strip bar,
right? Where they're using him,
or they send the trannies to read the kids, and they're fucking trannies,
and people aren't up in arms about that
twerking, or sending the high school kids and there's a fucking naked old lady there.
But so I don't know if you've seen the thing I posted. So again,
it's the degradation of society.
So there's multiple theories spinning around. So if they're saying that he could be a Mossad or a CIA asset because they also don't know where his wealth came from. Right. He was given a house. He was put.
I think he won the lottery too, didn't he?
The house.
I think they won the Powerball or something.
That I don't know.
I don't know. There was.
But I'm thinking
I don't know if that was just.
If I'm a billionaire, right?
Right.
You're a money manager. I'm gonna want to see your track record. I'm gonna say, well, who's Raul?
Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like I want to, or Manny. I want to see where you made the money. Yeah. I mean, we all know Warren Buffett. We know a lot of hedge fund guys that run hedge funds or manage money.
Right.
So who the fuck's this guy? How do you just pop up out of nowhere?
Right.
And he's a billionaire. He's got an island. So they're saying that it's a CIA honeypot for espionage and basically secrets and blackmail and everything else.
High-profile people to go fuck kids.
So then they can blackmail shit out of them. As terrible as it sounds, think about it though. Like it's like a secret society. Possibility. Because everybody says like, how do these politicians just continue to lie and they don't have a brain anymore because they blackmail the fuck out of them?
It's very eyes wide shut. Kind of scenario.
Yes, exactly.
I mean the FBI raid. I don't trust that trust from the police is filtered.
Never. Yeah. Right.
It doesn't stop there. This is what people don't understand.
It's everything. It's not just local police. It's FBI. It's the DOJ. Yeah. It's everything. I mean, the only person I trust right now in the government other than Trump is Bill Barr.
Well, what drives me crazy is people that think that the shooting the cop thing is just a fleeting thing.
Right.
No, that's just a wick. Once you no longer have trust in the state, that doesn't come back. It doesn't come back for several generations.
Well, unless some kind of new intervention or something happens.
Yeah. Well, the thing of that, it don't even come back. It may unify. If there's an outside threat, it may unify temporarily, but once that goes back to normal, that shit goes back.
Well, that's why I was worried, because they talk about 9/11 and stuff like that. Now, regardless of what we believe on that, there was nothing more unifying than 9/11. There was a meme that just
during that time.
Yes, but they said
afterwards. Loose change came through.
Yes.
And then all this other thing, and then you were just like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, no, I get it, but think about how united people were. They were saying, what happened to September 12th, 2001, where everybody united and nobody looked at color, everybody was united and cared, and we were America first.
A lot of that is fear, and cowardness. So you want to be in the group. You know what I mean? You want to find security with people of like mind. But after that shit calms down, you're back to you, an individual.
But I want to stop you real quick before I lose this. So I don't know if you saw the other thing I posted. So you would think, again, I don't know if it was just Bill or Hillary or whatever. Right. We talk about the body count, all that stuff. But there was an Adam Klausfeld or Klasfeld. I'm not sure.
He's German.
He's on Twitter. And he said, there's a background. He said, a second reaction, a former federal prosecutor informs me about this second order effect in terms of legal procedure. And it says,
in regards to
the Epstein thing, it says, background, an important note, after Epstein's death, no one else will have standing to challenge the search warrant on his house. Everything will be admissible against any other defendant without possibility of a motion to suppress.
Oh, so all that
So
counts.
before, everybody thinks like, well, if he died, we're scot-free. It'll all just get tossed because we can't face our accuser. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But they're saying now, no. There might have been people working for years to get like evidence and all
secondary evidence, you're saying.
That's the way I take it. So
not an eyewitness.
Well, I guess they're saying in the house.
Even an eyewitness, but this is the thing. Even in a court case, even an eyewitness is not the end all be all.
Right.
It's
because there's evidence.
It has to be collaborating evidence. It can't be just one person saying this. You have to have evidence that backs that. And even you don't even need a witness. You can just have the evidence.
Well, that's why I would think if once he was locked up, not that he was singing like a bird, but you would think if he was anything, they would probably already have recorded testimony, video evidence, something of him basically spilling the beans.
Detailed diary.
Yeah, something.
What I think is the detailed diary. He must have a diary of names.
Well, there are the flight logs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know that it was verified that he was sharing a tail number on either a helicopter or a plane with a military helicopter.
See, when you said tail, I was going wrong.
You were thinking the other. He was sharing a tail number to where they were saying that he basically flew off radar. So he was taking trips back and forth doing whatever under the guise of, I guess, FAA or whatever, thought it was just a military plane. Yeah. He shared a tail number with the military. So then that raises the question, was the government financing or funding him?
He's an asset. Yeah, it was an asset.
Was it CIA? So again, there's speculation swirling around. Was he CIA? Was he Mossad?
Right.
And then this, I haven't verified. I don't know where they got this.
Well, he's an American, right? He's American. He's
a Jew. Well, I was getting to that too. Well, they were saying that.
Calm down, Himmler.
Who? Himmler.
But he was a Jew. He was a Jew American.
A Jewish friend of mine.
So he's like 75% American.
But listen, a Jewish friend of mine was telling me.
He's like 2/3 American.
Will you stop?
It says so in the Constitution.
He said
he can't vote or own pop.
With the autopsy, he was not circumcised.
Okay.
So that.
But he was Jewish.
Yes,
and he's not a young Jew.
You'd have to. Yeah, but no, they're saying to be a Jewish man of his stature,
are not circumcised because
he would have to be circumcised
from the reformers.
Yeah, that I don't.
But that's Reform Jews are recent.
I don't know the religion.
They started in the 80s, something like that.
Right, but that's what he told me. He said there were reports that from the coroner he was not circumcised. If that was the case, there's no way that's him.
Well, just recently, I think today, or maybe it was yesterday, but the coroner came out with that the injuries were
the broken bones in the neck
were injuries that are not usually found with suicide. They're more
strangulation,
more usually found with a homicide. Yes. And you have like adjacent cells saying that they heard screaming, and when the people came in to resuscitate, they were yelling, "Breathe, Epstien, breathe," which is odd too, because you don't usually say somebody's name when you're trying to revive them.
Right.
You just kind of come on, man, come on.
Right.
You don't.
Hey, buddy, breathe, Epstien.
There isn't like a tendency to be formal when you're trying to perform CPR on somebody. It's more of an urgency of, come on, buddy, come on, man, come on, let's get it, come on.
Right. So it keeps saying he was hung, but I'm trying to find another thing because I follow a lot of alternative news. So there was some gentleman who I think was I don't know if he was a coroner or he was some kind of big time coroner or something like that. He was actually saying
the coroner that was with the JFK or RFK or one of the Kennedy.
That's what I'm trying to find out. I just saw the damn thing. I saw it before I came over. Now I lost it.
I was like, all right, well that's reliable.
No, I don't have it. Nothing comes up in feed. They're censoring us.
Is your glass broken?
No, it's just sweating. No, it's a frozen drink.
It's sweating.
Sweating because we're here talking about Clinton's stuff. It's worried it might be next.
Under the hot lights.
It's like, fuck, there's video evidence of me. I might be broken soon.
So bars... I don't know what's going to happen, man. I recently went to my brother's nephew. My nephew.
Your nephew, yes, had a birthday party.
Had a birthday party.
You were talking about it?
Well, we were talking about, but this is before Epstien offed himself.
You're talking about who was talking about it? You and Joey or you and Dave?
No, but we were just talking about the
because Joey. I was talking to Joey about it because Joey saw some shit and he was sending me shit. He was like, "Dude, check this out."
Yeah, he's...
Actually, I think Joey was the one who sent that to me about the... you may have seen it already before
he's starting to turn the Alex Jones on. I can feel it. But we were having this conversation about the climate and the state of the union, I guess you would say. And I don't see... I don't see it going back. I mean, I know there was turmoil and trouble in the 60s and 70s. And that had a lot to do with the state imposing itself to draft people, and people didn't want to fight in a war that, they had nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't the internet there, and the internet. They say the news cycle is 24 hours, which is true, but
it's not really a news cycle. It's just the same shit for 24 hours, the same propaganda for 24 hours.
24, yeah. Well, just. They say it's 24 hours, but what they don't tell you is you can always go back and look at it whenever you want.
Yes.
It doesn't go away.
Right.
It's 24 hours.
Especially on the internet, because once it's put out there, that's why they say watch it when you put it out, because it's always there.
Yeah, you always find there.
It'll be somewhere.
The height or the apex of it is 24 hours.
Yeah, but we've talked about this. That's why I don't know why people haven't woke up, because it's all there.
Yeah.
You just got to go back and research it.
But the lingering is infinite. As long as there's data, it will always linger. Now, in the past, that lingering kind of just died down because it wasn't in your periphery. Now, you could just go back whenever you want and just scroll. You just look it up. It's there. The linger is still there. And when you get into, and it comes back up, when you get into political arguments, you go, all right, well, on this date, that date, back then, well, this day, this happened. The recall is... It's more prevalent than it was back then. You could recall some generalized shit back in the day, but it was generalized shit. Now you can just be fucking specific as hell and bring shit up that are from that time. You could never do that before. So I was wondering, I was like, I don't think we're ever going. I don't think it's going to. When we had the argument on the State of the Union, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime, but somebody's going to secede from the union. I think it's inevitable that somebody's going to go. That they're just fucking going to say, fuck it, well, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And it's either Texas, obviously, or one of the West Coast states just fucking going to get the fuck out. But I don't know. Well, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh,
so you were saying about you were talking at the family party about.
Yeah, the State of the Union. That's we were having.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I was like, I don't think we're ever. Like I said, you've eroded that trust to the point. You've eroded public trust to the point where even if somebody's doing good as president, nobody knows because it's all disinformation. Unless you're actually fucking following the shit, it's pretty much disinformation. So even Bush, it's decades in the making, but Bush and Obama were like the apex of we're just gonna fuck public trust, especially Obama, because Obama came in making even Bush too came in making all these promises, and then when they got into office, they went back on all their promises.
But I gotta stop you there, so because now you just made me think of something that I did want to talk about on the show.
Just let me finish my thought. Yeah. So now you've gotten to the point where even if somebody was even you could have the greatest president in the world at that position, and the public trust is so eroded, nobody believes it.
Yeah.
Because of the lies of going back on campaign promises for the last, 16 years with the two other presidents.
Even more than that, right.
Bush came in as a small government president who wasn't going to nation build, who was humble. He was just this good old folk guy from Texas, and was just going to be a quiet administration. And then then he just fucking blew up the government. He blew it up.
Yeah. And
then Obama came in and just rolled all that bullshit into his administration and went back on all his shit. So now you got Trump, and even if like I said, even if he's the greatest president we've ever had, or the guy after him is the greatest whatever, there is nobody regardless. Not nobody, but aside will never be convinced of it because there's no trust anymore. There isn't like everybody loves Kennedy, right? He's a fucking Democrat. I like Kennedy.
Yeah.
You like Kennedy.
I did, yeah. But that's long gone.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the public.
But I would like to try and turn.
That's not sustainable.
People to see that it's long gone, and Kennedy would be rolling in his grave if, he was the one who said it's not what your country could do for you.
He'd be all right. He'd be all right today, Kennedy.
Well, what I didn't want to lose is the whole thing. I go back to Obama. Everybody thinks when you rag on Obama, it's a race thing, and it's not. And what's crazy is in lockstep, the black community and a lot of minority communities would follow in lockstep and vote for him and still think like he's so favorable and he's so great, and they don't realize the bad things he's done.
He has nothing in common with them.
No, well then the other thing is too is getting back to a lot of people don't realize
he has no interest.
He destabilized Africa. You know what I mean? The homeland. They took out who was the dictator there? Gaddafi. He was trying to go back to a gold standard and buy the gold up and everything.
He was trying to do a unified Africa thing.
Yeah, and
they've recently done that also, though.
What's that?
They've unified. They've done a trade unification.
Did they?
Africa. Yeah,
okay.
Well, not all of them.
But I'm saying, so like that's what he wanted to do, and think of the wealth they would have had and everything, and they took him out. Like we all know they took him out. You know what I mean?
Brought back slavery.
Well, that's it. So, like you know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean, but I'm trying to think how I would decipher that. Like you want to try and tell them like if you're like I know we use labels because that's how statistics run and that's how you would, but I wouldn't say you're a Hispanic American. I wouldn't say, I mean really I'm a melting, how do you say? A melting pot. I'm just an American.
I don't like melting pot. I always say I always say tossed salad. Because we're about that's what we are as a country. One big tossed salad.
But I touched on this before. Like I don't have a people. I don't think you would say you have a people. It's just I'm just me. I care about my family, my friends, my community. That's it. I don't have a people. I'm not defending my peoples. I'm not whatever. So again, you consider yourself African American, but you're really not African. You're American. You're just an American. Right. But if you want to say you're African American or you love Africa, the homeland, what did Obama do? They were trying to better Africa, and he fucking destroyed it. So like what? So you can't have it both ways. Like he was great for the black community, or he's great for Africa, or he's fucking shit.
Right.
And he was shit. But nobody wants to say he's shit.
Well, they're
but nobody researched. We talked about that. Nobody researches.
We haven't even talked about the Democratic debates.
I didn't. I didn't watch
They're
a lot
shitting
of
on
it.
Obama.
Well, I know that, but I didn't watch a lot of it because I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't stomach it. I'm like, what is this? A fucking apology tour? And they're speaking Spanish. Who are you pandering to? You're Hispandering? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
I've been saying it for fucking years.
Forever, right?
Forever.
Yes.
Dude, I've been telling black people, yo, you're just used, you're fucking used and abused and thrown to the side, and you continue to do this nonsense dance. They have just tossed you away. As soon as,
But they pandered everybody for votes on promises, on broken promises. I'll fix it as soon as I get reelected.
Some outrageous promise that will never fucking happen.
Right.
Before the country would self-destruct before it fucking happened.
But even with the reparations, like all that nonsense. So then where does it stop?
Well, the healthcare, the fucking Green New Deal, you're going to destroy. This is my favorite fucking argument in the Democratic debate. This is because this epitomizes the stupidity and the contradiction, just hypocrisy of them. Elizabeth Warren goes, there is not one thing a corporation won't do to save a nickel. And then later on, you know what we should do? We should raise taxes on there's not one thing. If a corporation could save a nickel, they would leave the country.
Man, this is actually perfect because I'm so glad you said that.
And then not fucking 10 minutes later, their plan is to raise taxes on corporations. What do you think's going to fucking happen with a corporation that would do anything to save a nickel and get the fuck out?
Well, thank you for saying that.
They're going to get the fuck out. You just made two of the dumbest fucking arguments, and you're trying to get away. You said it in a fucking 15-minute fucking span.
Yeah.
15 minutes. You said one thing. This is the fucking thing I always say with people in building the roads. With the left, I always corporations are greedy enough to destroy the worlds. Why aren't they greedy enough to build the road to their fucking store to satisfy that greed? That makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. So corporations are greedy enough to fucking just self-destruct the world. They don't give a shit about their kids or whatnot. But we have to we have to steal from people's paychecks to build the roads to the stores because greedy corporations won't build them. There is no rhyme. There's no rhyme or reason to that side. It's just whatever is convenient to say at the time.
Well, see, I got to take it one step further. I'm so glad you said that because that was something I was thinking about when we said we were going to do this. And like I said, I don't have a notepad to say, hey, we hit all these key points, but I'm glad you said that. Because the oxymoron to me with everybody who's a fucking tree hugger, everybody wants to save the world and we need to be green and do all this green stuff, which is absolutely right. People don't realize how taxes work. They don't know how the economy runs. They don't understand how people create jobs and there's jobs. So with that being said, if you tax somebody to the point that they need to leave to go to China, so you just lost some jobs for one. So now you have no jobs.
That's what happened in the late 80s and 90s.
And secondly, though, but I'm getting back to the green thing. Everybody wants to be green and save the world. Now you go to China where they pollute the fuck out of the world anyway. Yeah. So you're going to go there. So at least here they're under regulation to try and be clean and all the other shit. They're going to China and they're polluting the fuck out of the world. So it's the oxymoron. So you either want to tax them so they go to China and pollute the world or you just let them do what they do, create some jobs, and you have a job to work.
Taxes and regulations and they'll work on pollution.
That's it. Yes. Right.
Pollution is a fucking property rights issue anyway. It has nothing to do with fucking...
But I mean, everybody wants to save the world and be green and help things out and do all that. But they're okay with sending somebody overseas to pollute the fucking... You know what I mean? Because they can do it cheaper over there. They're not strict. They're not even business choking regulations.
We're not even the world leaders in pollution.
No, we're not. It's probably who is it? Probably China.
It's China. Yeah, it's China. I think it's China.
And they're not trying to. We're over here trying to make cars cleaner and everything else. They don't give a fuck.
They don't. Yeah, let the market solve it. Either way, but most people on the left they're like idealized 12-year-olds who have this dream notion of a utopic future. That they don't understand the economics of.
Well, what I can't believe is still that you say Democrats or you say leftists, but I can't believe what was it like? Mark Cuban had shit to say about Trump. Jeff Bezos had shit to say about Trump. They were all coming out against him. But like AOC killed Jeff Bezos' deal in New York. So like, how could you be a Democrat and like you started in your garage? Like you understand what it takes Unless you got some kind of sweetheart government deal, or there's something going on with Alexa and the CIA, and they're bankrolling you some kind of DARPA project. How the fuck could you be a Democrat?
I think it's 98.6% of her campaign money comes from out of her district. Only like 1%, like 1.4%.
Well, are you following who's running against her right now? Well, there's two people. There's a black lady who's running against her.
And the black dude with the
straight hat. Magna,
yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah,
that's again. I hope he gets it, and I hope Maj Touré gets fucking.
Yeah, I love Maj. He should. Yeah, I try to post his shit as much as possible because he's right there in Philly.
Right over the bridge.
He's right over the bridge, and he's a libertarian. I always try to support libertarians. Yeah, those two. Yeah, so 98% of her campaign donations come from outside of her district.
Okay.
So even the constituents.
Well, again, we touched on that.
Didn't give her money. Even Stacey Abrams, the lady that's running for governor, I can kind of understand a congresswoman because they're representing federally. The Stacey Abrams in Georgia, like 62% of her campaign donations came from outside of Georgia. So people outside of the constituency are bankrolling these fucking people within the state of, she's supposed to represent the people of the state and the interests of the people in the state, and she's getting most of her funding
from outside territories,
from people that don't even live there,
right?
Which is fucking, that's a little.
Well, I had a friend of mine say, like, with AOC, they're like, how fucking dumb is this bitch? I'm like, she is. I'm saying, dumb. But she has a following. You know what I mean? Like, she has no idea on how government works.
A national following,
right? But she's in there talking to Congress and all. She's in there interrogating people, asking her, like, who the fuck is it? You're a bartender. You have no real life experience.
It's funny. She graduated college economics major. Economics major. And the trust has been eroded from the state. It's also been eroded from the media. It's also been eroded from educational institutions.
But
the three fucking pillars of society, the trust has been eroded from that. So that is very, very, very dangerous, because that is where everyone gets their community, their tribalism from in this country. Media, whether it's news or, Hollywood or whatever, the state and your school or your college. It used to be the four pillars of society. Religion was the fourth one. That's, religion is already gone. There's no fucking trust in religion anymore because everyone's become altruistic and an atheist. Not everyone's an atheist, but even there's no fundamental Christians, like really, really fundamental.
Well, I'm talking. I think people believe in it, but I think the trust has been lost too. Because I mean, we've talked about it. I'm a God-fearing Christian.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to say that, but I don't follow any organized religion because I feel like everybody's got their own agenda. Like because of my belief, I'm not going to follow some false prophet into hell. That's because I do believe in God and I believe in heaven and hell. Regardless if people do or not, I don't care.
But you're not.
My thing is, like, I feel like if you understand the Catholic religion, you know what I mean? Like, there's supposed to be a God and you're supposed to pray to God, but then they're praying to statues, they're praying to saints. Like, that's blasphemous. You know what I mean? So,
I always say,
plus you have all the whether they're priests or preachers or whatever, they're all raping kids and they just sweep it on the rug. Let's throw money at it instead of calling these people out and fixing it. Right. It's just like the biggest cover up. Look at the Boy Scouts. Yeah. My buddy was saying that today. We were talking at work. He said something along the lines of, he said, there's no trust in the Boy Scouts. He said they all used to be held in like church basements. He was like, so it wasn't bad enough that the father wasn't fucking them. Now you got the camp counselors doing it though. It's just bad, man.
Well, I think even though you're a Christian, you're not. There's a difference though. You're not fundamental. You don't go to church like every Sunday, do you?
No, I don't know. I'm playing softball.
There's not that's your church.
Yeah, it's my church.
There's no communal.
No, because I've never found one that I feel like, again, it comes down to agenda. Everybody's kind of got their own thing that they're all.
But
I feel like the meaning's lost a lot of times.
I was just about to get there. Even though you're a Christian, you still like kind of. Since we've reached like such a height, a civilized height, we have the luxury of being lazy and looking back at other gods. So you have that knowledge that there were other people that worshipped other things. You know that even though you worship Christianity, you still have that knowledge. You don't have that. You're not a goat fucker in the Middle East,
right?
That doesn't know the fucking Hindus because they don't have the internet or what. There's not that fundamental. God is not literally breathing down your neck. He's gotten more back up to the sky where you're just like, all right, there's God. I know he's there. He's there. It's not as overbearing as it was in those pillars. That pillar is gone, basically.
Yeah, no, I do believe that. Yeah, because I believe that too. There's
no trust in that. Even if you say I believe in God, you still have the knowledge that all right, well, we've evolved. And we've had many gods. The sun was the god, the moon, nature was God. Then we started anthropomorphizing all these things to be gods, and then we made it monolithic. And then you have that knowledge.
Yeah.
You've bitten into the apple.
Yes.
So it's.
And it's the whole other thing, and it's greatest lie ever told.
I'm not saying
it's all. Yeah. Every god's the same, and they're all the same. It's the same story told in different.
Yeah. I'm not saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying you don't have faith.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have faith, and it's surrounded by a lot of salt.
Could be.
A lot of pinches of salt here and there. That's all I'm saying. It's not devout, I would say. Where you're not every time you say a curse word, you're fucking doing Hail Marys or anything.
No, because honestly, I just think all curse words are man-made words anyway.
That's what I mean. You have that. You have.
Well, no, because I look at it as if you're taking the Lord's name in vain,
right?
That's a curse. It's taking the Lord's name in vain. It's not saying fuck or it's not saying shit or calling a fucking leftist a cock.
No news is bad news, right? Any news is good. Any publicity is good publicity. He's talking about it. But you understand what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
It's not as devout as it would be if you knew nothing else.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
It's not as an absolute as you would.
Well, that's what I always say. You don't talk politics or religion because religion in some people is so ingrained they don't want to wake up. Yeah. I mean, it's even we could talk about the Catholic religion. I mean, I know a lot of people are Catholic and they just think you're trying to attack them and attack God. And I'm not. I mean, again, I have bitten into the apple. I understand it, but I want to believe there's more than just us out there.
Yeah.
Divine intervention or whatever.
I understand you have faith, but it's.
But I mean, talking about that, you start trying to wake people up and explain to them.
Right.
Like all the stuff in the churches, and they all shut in. They don't want to hear it. It's like, and I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to explain something to you. Like, look. They don't want it.
I've traveled down that. I was.
Yeah.
I was atheist. I was an atheist for a while, and then I became agnostic because who the fuck am I? I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
Right.
Nobody knows. I have no idea. People have faith in.
Listen, I got a million
That's why it's called
questions,
faith, because
man.
it's
just way out of my realm of my brain.
But those hardcore devout, the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the guys that run around in ties, those people, they're few and far between. In this country, it's not the majority of this country. So that pillar is gone. All you have left is 3 pillars. And the one is just fucking rock about it. The one is the media is about to just fucking crumble. That's the third pillar is going to fucking just crumble. And then all you have left is the 2 pillars. You have the state.
But see, I even worry that for myself say you or anybody. I mean, you're right. I say I'll never ever probably vote Democrat again because I see what they did to Trump. And again, Trump's not my priest. You know what I mean? Trump's not my father,
government's not a religion
pastor.
for you. He's not Jesus.
No, right. But I mean, we always said that. I mean, he wasn't your first choice neither, but he's far exceeded what we was the wrecking ball.
I didn't vote for him, but I am fucking. Right, I'm going to vote for him at 20.
Right.
Yeah.
I did, and I will. Right. What I'm saying with that is I just seen how I seen how biased it is, so I don't think I've ever seen the media attack somebody the way they've attacked them. Even Bush, because you could say that like with the George Stephanopouloses and all of them, you know, they had a wing when in the Clinton presidency and the White House and this and that, but they all rub shoulders. Now, like, you know, Bush Jr. is best buddies with Michelle Obama. They're all rubbing shoulders.
Obama gave fucking a eulogy to McCain.
Right, I mean, it's just fucking crazy.
He was just a racist Klan member when you were running against him, and now you're doing his eulogy.
Yeah, they're all best friends. But that's what I mean. So it's just crazy to see how biased they are with Trump. And now it's like, once I've seen that now, I've never seen nobody that attacked. Like, you can't go back.
You're never going to go back.
No, you're never going back.
You can't go back to that. That's what I'm saying.
But that's why I still can't believe, and we said this, it's an echo chamber, but it's like how people can't wake up to that and realize exactly.
You've been here 5 times.
Oh, yeah, you know, I didn't because I was,
But that's what I'm saying. That pillar of society is about to crumble also.
Yes. But I want it to crumble, but I mean, where are we?
Well, it's going to be segmented. Because one of the things about them before with the radio and the TV, everyone watched the same things.
Yes.
So now it's become, with the internet, everything's become more segmented, more reclusive or inclusive, however you want to, from what perspective you want to say, look at it from. It's either inclusive to you or reclusive. So it's going to be segmented.
But I just don't want to be so blinded neither, where if there is something that I just feel like it's all fake news, but there is some truth in some of it. Because I just feel like they're such liars now that I don't want to believe even anything they say. Yeah. And that's the only thing I worry about, because they have lost total touch, at what point do you know who is going to, if it's all center right or right leaning, you're always going to think that they're always have your best interest but I'm wondering where, more.
Well, I mean, look where you're trending. You're trending in separation. You're separating into groups. It's becoming more pronounced. Mm-hmm. The only thing that can lead to is states seceding to get out of the fucking union, because they're ideologically no longer in agreement with everybody else. They're so drastically left or drastically right that they have nothing in common with each other anymore. So would be the natural. If you're already naturally in media and religion, naturally separating into your own, because even you say you're a Christian, and then you have your own faith. I'm assuming that you have your...
Well, not really my own faith. I believe in the Ten Commandments. But I mean, if everybody lived with the Ten Commandments, I think, regardless of what you believe, the world would probably be.
But you're not Pentecostal. You're not Catholic, right?
No, I'm not Catholic.
You're not a Baptist.
No. So I would probably consider myself, if anything, probably Baptist, maybe Southern Baptist. I mean, well, no, I mean between no, because I went to them all. I want to say
Black church?
Methodist or. Well, no, I think I went to Rosedale Bible School.
So did I. The red bus that came around?
That's how I met all the Folsom people when we were kids.
Oh, all right.
You know
Me and Eddie Sweeney went.
Yeah.
I got him to raise his hand to be saved.
Did you? Oh, my God.
We were sitting next to each other.
So, yeah, no, that.
Anyway, I got to tell that story. I'll tell that story before. All right. It ended in me quoting the Goonies as all my sins. What's his name? Chunk, you know, when he's being grilled by the Fratellis.
Yes.
And he starts, telling all the bad shit he's done.
Spilling all the beans, yeah.
That's what I just started reciting that. Word for word.
You're a mess, dude.
Word for word. And me and Eddie, it's just me and Eddie and the priest. And he's like, you got to devote your sins. And I was just like, then I just started, the only thing that came up with me was
Goonies.
Was Chunk getting grilled by the Fratellis. So I started reciting it, and I love that movie. I taped it on TV, and I watched it like every day. So I knew it like word for word. So I just started doing Chuck on my dad. I kicked my uncle at one time. I pushed my dog down the stairs.
Did he know or no?
Oh yeah, Eddie, because Eddie used
No, not Eddie. I'm saying the father. He had no clue
because he didn't know what the fuck Goonies was.
I don't know.
I told him I shaved my uncle's beard and wore it as a I took my uncle's toupee
and wore it as a beard.
To play an old man in the school play. So
I couldn't even imagine what was going through this dude's head.
Eddie, this is Eddie.
Oh, that's great. Oh man, I've been trying to get him to come on your show.
Well, I had tried to get him on. Well, the priest, it was they had all the kids in the gallery or whatever, and the pews, and whoever wants to get saved, raise their hand. Oh no, we were in like a conference room or something like that. We, whoever wants to be saved, raise their hands. I was like, oh no, you doing? I'll do it. I know you doing. We raised my hand at the same time. They raised their hands. And Eddie's like this, and Eddie's looking at you, motherfucker. You better fucking raise. I will fucking kick your ass if you don't fucking raise your hand.
You boy over there,
yeah,
come on down.
Hey, dumbass! You getting saved? I ain't getting saved. You getting saved?
Yo, you're evil.
Yeah, I know.
It's terrible.
So he took us to the back room, just me and Eddie. And he's like, you do your sins. I go, I'll go first. So I started rattling off the Goonies.
That's great.
I don't remember. I don't even remember what Eddie said. I think he was
nothing.
I think he was laughing.
You sinned for both of them.
I don't think
for both of you.
Yeah, I don't think he could get a word out because he was like laughing so hard, and he was like, "All right, well, we'll just do you." I forget. I think he said. I forget what he said. I don't even remember, but he couldn't get a word out.
You ever get in a laughing fit?
His face was like so fucking red because his face was like this, and then he went back out. He had Asian eyes, and his face was all red.
Oh my God.
From trying to.
If you ever have a laughing fit where you just found something so funny and everybody else just hit you and you couldn't stop laughing, or like, what's so funny?
Yeah. And
like I remember in school, like reading something, like a girl wrote a letter and she was talking about kicking some other girl's ass, and it just struck me as just so funny. Right. Like I'm visualizing it, and like I read it and then I put the letter away and I'm just sitting and I just start it's quiet, and I'm just and I can't stop. What is so funny, Mr. Rhode? And I'm like, then it's happened a couple times, just different things, not school, just anywhere, and it's like and you just can't stop laughing. Like I that would have been me the whole time. If it had been quiet, I would have just not stopped laughing. Like, are you done? Are you?
I worked for Universal Studios. I was a parking lot attendant for like a week, and this guy was he had this fucking porn star mustache, and he was like super fucking serious about parking lot attendance, like the job. Like fucking, he was like hardcore, like a Rambo guy.
Oh, so like he was like a superior or a boss there.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't just like a patron.
He was the boss of the park. I was a parking lot attendant for like a week.
I would have just laughed looking at him.
And we had to wear these fucking pink shirts with these fucking super fucking high fucking shorts. Like if you fucking dropped a quarter, you fucking leaving it there, because if you're picking it up, you're showing everybody behind you from your ass to fucking Omaha. So, and a Neapolitan belt, and the guy was fucking super serious, like it was like NASA, like like every bolt has to be tightened or the fucking shuttle will blow up. And every day I would just start cracking up when he started talking, just because of the porn stash, and he's talking about parking lot attendance like it's fucking rocket science or rocket fucking safety, and he would fucking, after like the third day. I was there for like 3 days. I'm still fucking doing orientation. And after like the third day, he got mad. He's like, why you laugh? You always, no, he didn't curse. He's like one of those guys. Like, why you laugh? He was like a military guy with a porn stash, but he had a fucking flop with a part down the middle.
Oh, God.
I mean, the dude looked ridiculous. He looked like straight out of the 80s. Like he was like 35 years old and still had his fucking high school haircut. So he's like, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? And I was like, oh, shit. I didn't, because I would just chuckle, and there was like a bunch of us. I didn't think he knew it was fucking me. So he was like, Raul, why you laugh? You're always fucking laughing every time I'm talking. And I got scared. And I was just like, I got a roommate. He tells me a joke every time I leave the house.
Nice.
So he told me to tell him the joke. I was like, I have a roommate tells me a joke every time he's a comedian.
You got caught. You're like,
yeah. And I was like, and I always think about it when I'm at work, because I just left there. Because he used to do in the morning when we got in, we'd have to do the fucking orientation or whatever. And I'm fucking laughing at him all the time with his fucking porn star mustache and a pink fucking short. He looked like a fucking like a gay porn star.
Maybe he was. Maybe doubled as one at night.
Talking about parking lot attendant like he's going to the fucking moon in a rocket. So he fucking called me out. So he's what's the joke? Why don't you tell us all?
I'm like, I can't.
So I had to make one on the spot.
Oh, dude, you're clever. It's not appropriate. I can't.
I'm not. It was. I don't know where the joke came from, but it's a joke that's you've heard this joke before. It's a guy at a bar and he's drinking at the bar and a guy sits next to him and he starts drinking and like hours pass by. He's like, oh shit, I gotta go back to the wife. I need, what time is it? And the guy picks up a donkey's balls that's right next to him and goes, it's 4:30. He's like, oh, all right, got an hour. So he starts drinking. An hour goes by. He goes, oh, what time is it? And he goes, picks up the donkey. He goes, oh, it's 5:30. He goes, that's amazing. How do you tell time by just picking up a donkey's balls? He's like, oh, no, the clock's over there. I just can't see it.
Did he think it was funny or no?
Yeah. Well,
he loved it. Okay, good. All right.
I was like,
thank God.
So I had to make up a joke every day.
I don't think I would have been that clever.
I had to make up a joke every day for the fucking rest of the week. I quit at the end of the week because I ran out of jokes. I was like, this was before the internet. I was like, right. I don't know any fucking more jokes anymore. And I couldn't just make up some, one that wasn't funny. I was just like, fuck, I'm fucked. Well, anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
Nothing.
Oh. No, we were talking about
anything.
All right.
About the media and about it being too far left and succeeding.
So the pillars that keep us together communally as a tribe are fucking crumbling before our eyes. Religion's gone. That was gone, I would say, in the 70s. It just crumbled in the 70s. It was 60s, because you had the 50s, the model, leave it to beavers, go to church every Sunday. Then the 60s came along and kind of took the legs out of it. And then the fucking drugs, 70s drugs, 80s drugs, the 90s. And I think 2000s started hitting the media, started crumbling after 9/11. And when that started calming down, everybody started looking around going, wait a second, there's a lot of questions here. Nobody answered.
But you know what bothers me about that? We know what we know, but I still try and talk to some people because there's some people that I didn't realize that believe the things we believe. Because even like with the whole Epstien thing, like somebody, they sent me a message like as soon as because they knew that I posted about it like weeks ago.
Yeah.
So then they started, and then they got talking about different things, and I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize like you know about that. But then Monday, I was running around delivering materials and stuff, and a friend of mine took a ride with me. And, like, he believes certain things, but then I'm talking to him about it, and he's like, he don't want to buy it. And I'm like, dude, like, there's all this evidence. Like, how you talk to some people, and some people, again, like religion, they get mad at you, like, you're trying to push some propaganda. And I'm like, dude, just look. I'm not saying that fucking planes didn't hit buildings. I'm saying, like, look at the Pentagon. There's no way a fucking plane's going to punch through 5 fucking layers of...
There's no the cameras fucking are gone.
Right, there's no he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, dude...
They hit an empty part of the building.
Right.
It's just...
And there's no way that an aluminum tip fucking nose plane's going to punch through 5 layers of fucking steel reinforced concrete.
It's not.
He's like, oh, well, you don't understand like physics and this. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I said, I got a video you can watch. Will you watch it? No. I said, well, I can draw you a thing. Like if here's the building and the plane flies in and hits the building and there's just a hole in it that looks like a bunker buster. What about 2 10-foot round holes on the outside where the titanium engines were slammed in? Oh, you don't understand. I'm like, no, you don't understand physics. Like you're a pretty smart guy, but I'm like, if 2 things, they wouldn't have just pulverized and evaporated. They would have left holes there. I'm not saying they would have went through 5 layers, but they would have left 10-foot or 8-foot round holes, like where the wingspan was. And I said, well, what about Building 7? Yeah. And then I went through the whole Empire State Building, got hit with a B-52 bomber or whatever. I don't know if it's B-52, but it was something. And I said, well, before the towers were designed, then he was trying to tell me about the exoskeleton. I'm like, listen, that's above my pay grade. I'm not an engineer, but I'm like, they were supposed to be designed to have a plane hit them. Yeah. I said, forget the towers. How did Building 7 just catch on fire and fall into its footprint? Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, that's
the most.
Forget the tower. That's it. And that's what I say. Look at Tower 7. Look at the Pentagon.
I don't know why people have this idea that planes are like solid darts.
They think so. Like they think not. Like they just hit and they
try to make them as light as possible.
Yes.
if a plane, they're not a fucking bullet.
No.
It's a piece of hollow fucking aluminum.
Basically.
That if you push that, I don't give a fuck how fast it's going. If you slam that into anything solid, it's gonna fold like an accordion. Just the pressure, the weight, just from the weight from the engines, the weight from the engine, it would rip the engine. If it hits something really fast, first thing that's going to fly forward is the fucking wings. The weight of the engine is going to rip right off and slam into the fucking
Well, they said
building.
they found the engines that hit the towers. The engines went through the building.
Yeah.
And landed on the street. So you're going to tell me that you're not going to see engine marks that hit the Pentagon? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I'm like, he's like, well, he didn't put landing. I said, I didn't say he put landing gear down. I'm saying before the outer ring collapsed, they show a hole that looks like it was Gorbachev or whatever when they hit the freaking thing with a bunker buster. That's what it looked like. It looked like something came down and shot it. I said, how come there was no video footage? You're telling me Washington, D.C., the most heavily guarded airspace in the world, they didn't have video? There's one clip that kind of shows something super, super grainy that comes down, and you can't even tell what it is. It's so grainy, and it looks like it comes down and you see an explosion. Almost looks like something kind of comes down.
Looks like it's edited, too.
Like, shoot something at it, right?
It looks like it's edited. It looks like boom, boom, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's
boom,
cloud.
Fireball, right.
There's cloud.
I said, so you're telling me that's the only evidence? Not the gas station across the street, not, like, come on, man.
There's no fucking, no light pole. Tops of light poles fucking clipped from the bottom of the fucking...
People don't want to believe it. It's out of their comfort zone, and they feel like our government would never do
they don't
that
want to... Yeah, it's out of their comfort. They don't want to feel like they're not safe because it makes them afraid.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So you've got one pillar down. You've got another pillar that's probably going to crash within this decade. Well, yeah, it's 2020. I think it's already collapsed, to be honest with you. I think that institution's collapsed already.
I wish I could say it did because, again, with social media and with everybody having an opinion and wanting to say stuff.
It's hanging on by fingers right now. I'll say that.
But my thing is there's still the older generation who are older than us that are basically either old enough to be our parents or our grandparents that still have such a distaste for Trump.
Right.
Because the TV told them to.
Yeah, but they're...
And I'll never say names on here because that's not me. And I don't want to shed light on them or anything, but I'm just saying there's a lady who I did think the world of, but she's another one. I've told her, I said, please do me a favor. If you don't agree with me, don't comment. Just keep scrolling. Like, after the Epstien thing, she wrote in the comments, and I deleted it since then, so nobody will know who she is anyway, but Obama did it. And I'm like, why would you comment that on my fucking thing? You know what I mean? I didn't say it that way, but I'm like, who even said that? Why would you even comment that? And then I had to go back and say, she was like, and then she's laughing at my comments. I'm like, I'm being serious. Like, how can somebody in federal lockup be killed or suicidal? Like, none of it makes sense. Like, if we were in there and I was on suicide watch, no matter how...
Well, he was taken off of suicide.
Right, like, how does that happen, too? That's the other thing.
You're
that high profile.
He's the most important prisoner. He's the most important prisoner in the country.
Yes.
The most profiled...
Yes.
The highest profiled, most important prisoner in the country, and he dies in their custody.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's
he dies in their custody.
So then she starts going on, and that's what I said to her. I'm like, listen, I get it. I said, I'm trying to be nice about this, and I'm like, again, you and your husband hate Donald Trump because the TV told you to. And she's like, no, he did a pretty good job of doing it himself. And I'm like, you're right, because you hang out with him and run in the same circles as he does, and you know him on a personal level. Exactly. So why the fuck do you hate the guy?
My favorite is NBC had him on fucking prime time in their number one spot.
Really?
On TV. Yeah,
for the rally?
The Apprentice.
Oh, right, yes.
For 10
years.
And then
I just totally forgot about that.
And then they call him a racist.
Right.
So basically, NBC, you
enabled a racist.
You enabled a racist for 10. Not only did you for 10 years, you gave him the prime top spot in fucking programming. That 8 to 9. It was like a 9 to 10 on a Thursday.
I didn't watch it, but yeah, I had a friend who loved it.
That's the top fucking spot in all of TV. That is the spot in TV. NBC gave it to him for 10 fucking years.
But how many people from the rap culture or pop culture or just anything, they loved him.
Right.
How did he go from the most loved guy, smart businessman, everything, to being the racist. But that's why I wonder, do they all have, does the deep state or whatever we want to call it, the government, does somebody have something on these people too?
They're just cowards.
But why? You would think you have, if you had a blue check mark next to your name and you have this following, why would people think you're a sellout?
Their status is more important than their principles. They don't want. Yeah, I mean, they don't want to go. They don't want to be the cancel culture, I guess you would say. They don't want to be canceled out. They don't want to be put in this. They don't want to be labeled this They don't want to be labeled this type of person. So they're not going to go. Well, I support Trump. It's the whole. The argument with black people when they say, well, there's no black Republicans, and you go, all right, there's one, and the black person go, oh, he's a house nigger.
Or he's an Uncle Tom. I hate that.
And then you're just like, oh, hold on. Now you know why people don't come out and say they're what they are, because you have a whole group of people that starts calling them ugly names.
Right.
So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, this, and this because of this, and then go, well, and then when somebody points it out, you start attacking them. And you're just like, well, that's why there's not that many people come out and say it, because you start attacking them because you're an ignorant person. Anyway, going back to the old people still watching TV, old people are culturally irrelevant. By the time you're like 55, nobody young gives two shits what you think. So
true.
It's the key demographic of.
But they're trying to lower voting age though too. Right. Now that they're saying they want to try and lower voting age to 16.
That'll never happen.
Well, I would hope not neither. It's
never going to happen.
But the thing is too is if you think about it, everybody is pretty liberal. Or not even liberal. Yeah, we'll say liberal. They're all into the whole free and socialism and all the other stuff when they're young. But it's not until they get their first real job and they start paying taxes and realize, why is all this coming out of my paycheck, to where they start waking up.
We had this discussion already. Where we've broken down the generations, where the millennials are more left. Generation X is pretty 50-50. Mm-hmm. And Generation Z is conservative. Mm-hmm. So I think it's... I think when Trump got elected, I think a year after Trump got elected, there was a cultural shift. I think the culture has shifted. The majority of the culture has shifted. Where I think the working class are now conservative, where they used to be liberal. I think the working class used to...
Well, I would think the working class used to vote for Democrats because the Democrats used to, even whether it was a false premise or whatever, used to have their best interest. And like even with unions, right. In my opinion, at one time were a good thing. But the unions of yesteryear are not the unions of today. No. The unions of today are bureaucratic, back scratching,
But not only that, I think the average person is pretty socially liberal. I think
the average person?
Yeah, I think the average person is. I think the average person is. Don't shit in my yard. I won't shit in yours.
Right. I mean, I would say I'm liberal in that way, but I think that's the actual term of being liberal, not like leftist. Because again, I just want to be left alone.
The Democrats were more socially liberal, and a lot of the average people, the majority of people, the people in the cities. So now I'm not talking about rural. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the average person was basically socially liberal, so they would vote Democrat for the liberal policies, and the Democrats were for the worker. They used to be the working man's party.
Yes.
Well, the Democrats are the party of grievance. They are the ones that they champion the victim. I guess you would say they're the party of grievance, and the Republicans are the party of self-determination, and that's where the clash. And the working class used to be on that side, because the Democrats used to be on that side. They're not on that side anymore. And that's why they've lost the Rust Belt. That's why Trump won the Blue Wall, the Rust Belt, Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan, and I think Iowa. That was the Blue Wall. It was called the Blue Wall. And Trump smashed right through there. He won all those states. I don't think Democrats are getting those states back either.
I don't think so neither, but did you see the blunder he just got himself into with his mouth? Must have been an overweight guy. Something happened at the recent rally, and he thought that the protester was still in there, and here it wasn't. I just heard this on Dan Bongino, and
All right.
I think it was Dan Bongino, and he said he wound up apologizing, or no, it was something else. He must have called and apologized to the guy.
All right.
But he said, I guess because he was overweight, that the guy should get some workout equipment and get healthy. He's unhealthy. Well, here it was a Trump supporter.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So he kind of like, and I'm
Was
like,
it a
here we go.
protester?
So now, well, no, the protester must have been seated right next to this guy who was overweight.
Right.
So now I could just see them trying to spin the narrative: Trump hates fat people.
Yeah, but I don't think the average person gives a fuck
Right.
what Trump says because they've already heard it. He's a pile of mud, and everyone's already heard it already. They're like, all right, yeah, he said that. How's the economy?
I just don't understand how everybody just has to constantly feel like they got to be offended by something.
That's what I'm saying. I think the culture has shifted.
Well, I hope so.
Because the people, well, it's shifted I mean, it's shifted so much that it's shifted globally.
Right.
That's
where you got, like you said, Italy,
the UK, Australia, Brazil, Colombia, like a ton of countries have shifted right, so to speak, as their version of right, which is a rhino, not like this country's version of right, which is a rhino.
Shouldn't be either. It should just be get back to the Constitution.
That was a bad joke.
No, it's okay. I know what you meant.
But the culture globally, America, I mean, say what you will, America, we're the forefront of culture around
Absolutely.
The world. Everyone fucking mimics us. So when Trump won, it was just a cascade of dominoes around the country, around the world.
So again, I didn't follow it that much back then. I just only followed. So do you think with Obama's policy of bringing in all the I don't know if you'd want to call illegals or what were they? The ISIS or the?
There was that big raid with like 600 people.
Well, no, I'm saying so Obama kept bringing a bunch of people in, like Islam, let Islam in Michigan. Basically just brought them in and brought them in.
That's how Omar,
right.
She got elected.
But what I'm saying is, so through him doing that, did that set off?
Well, they've changed.
So that they were, like, if you look at Europe, how they just kept letting them all in. Was that more of an invasion, or they just started letting them in to where it just got so overrun that?
They just let them. It was a EU policy. It was more of a policy. It was a German policy also, where the German Merkel invited everyone, said everyone can come in, and then it fucked up. It's pretty much why she's out of power now because of that. And then they had the EU in Brussels put a policy to take in refugees, and now countries within the EU are starting to rebel against the EU. I don't give the EU another 10 years. UK's out. They're struggling. They only have two really good countries economically, and that's France and Germany. And then you have just lazy fuck up countries like Spain and Italy.
Well, Trump wants to buy Switzerland. Did you hear? Was it Switzerland or
Greenland?
Greenland.
But they had the EU is made up of two economically strong. It used to be three. It used to be France, Germany, and England. Two economically strong. Three economic. England's leaving now, and now they're down to two economically. The EU is two economically strong countries surrounded by derelict dipshits that they don't even. It's hard to collect taxes because most of the people don't even fucking pay the taxes because they don't give. What do they? They have a mentality like, what are you going to do? Arrest us all? Anyway, France is falling apart. By the way, they're in the 39th week of fucking Paris protests. Anyway, we're
39th week. Holy shit!
You got to look at France. They're fucking just Paris looks like a fucking war zone. Anyway, Trump recently changed the immigration policies. Also, he didn't change them. He's just enforcing the letter of the law.
Yes.
Where you have to, as an immigrant, you have to show that you are
I guess basically that you almost have where you have a sponsor. to where you're not a burden on.
Yeah, you have to be self.
Like it used to be. You used to have a sponsor or like to be on a work program to come work here because you weren't getting any kind of governmental benefits.
Yeah, or a family member that was already here that sponsored you to come. Yeah, sponsor basically at work or family. But when you did come over here, you had to be self-sufficient. You couldn't live off the government, and you were given certain strikes against you for every government assistance that you had. And if you had so many strikes, they would deny your green card and ship you back out, which is great.
I think it's great.
I know, it's great. I'm fucking...
People still have no idea because they don't understand basic economics what the illegal immigration costs taxpayers and the burden it puts on our resources and society.
Yeah. So a merit-based immigration system, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be merit-based. And we have to stop just taking in everybody and anybody. So that was recent on the immigration policy. I didn't hear about the him shaming Fat Joe or whatever.
It's just that might have just happened last night. I heard about it today. Like I said before, I came over. I'm like, oh great, here you go. You know, it'd be the next thing that all the crybaby leftists will be. He hates all fat people. He hates men. He hates everybody.
There's very little. I mean, in order for Trump to fuck up verbally, it has to be like huge. It can't be some just like minuscule thing because the average person just go,
right, whatever.
Whatever. I've already heard it. I've been hearing it for the last 3 years. The world isn't ended. You're not fucking. There's a
grabbing the pussy didn't fucking wreck him. I mean, he could fucking call somebody a fat fuck.
He tweeted. He tweeted thanks. Nebraska GOP on his Twitter, and I scrolled real quick, and I thought he said thanks nigga. I'm like, I have PTSD.
Oh my god!
But it's NEGOP.
Oh gosh, okay.
So it looks like thanks nigup.
Right. Yes.
So I thought it, and then I looked at it again. I was like, "Oh shit, this is a Kofifi."
Yeah. Yes. I couldn't even imagine.
I was like, "Oh my god, this is a Kofifi thing." He was trying to say so? He was trying to be fly to a homie or something. And then I looked on, and it was Nebraska GOP.
Right.
So I typed in, I commented on the thing. I go, oh, nigga what? Nigga poo?
Did you tag any of your haters in so they can say
I posted on Facebook too. I posted nigga one, nigga two.
Nice.
Nigga what? Nigga who? That's an old song for you fucking...
Do you think you converted anybody?
To what?
To thinking more like we think. You think there's anybody you have converted?
I hope.
Not that you're trying to, but
I don't really try
to wake people up.
Like I posted, I want my tombstone to read.
I saw that. I see almost everything you post.
I want my tombstone.
I feel bad. It's not like you're the only person I follow, but it is really crazy. The meme going around, like if I like your shit all the time, it's probably because you're one of the 7 people whose stuff I say. Exactly. There's only 7 people whose shit I say.
Now I forget. It was did his best to mock outrage.
Yes, false outrage.
False outrage.
I saw it. But I mean, I don't. That one person's the only person who seems like they engage you. Is there anybody else who's giving you shit?
I used to get it a lot back in the day, and they're still friends with me. But they don't comment because I just take them, put them in a little fucking. I just grind them up, and then they just make them look stupid and send them on their way. That's why when I do get a comment, I'm just like, oh,
right, because
I used to get it all the time. And I would just post, I'm a well of resources. Or, I had Krista Hines, this one girl. She was talking about only white people do mass shootings.
Well, can I tell you, I was almost relieved with the Philadelphia shooter because as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's another fucking, you know what I mean? And then it came out that he was of color, and I'm like, thank God, because it's always the white guy with fucking,
it's
it's really not.
It's actually always it's black people,
but they push like it's always the white shooter.
It happens so much that nobody even fucking cares or pays attention anymore. That's why.
But I feel like that's how they try and divide the races, because they're always trying to make blacks think it's always the white shooter that's shooting schools up, and
they don't fix their problem. And it's going to continue. They're fucking murdering themselves. They don't even give a shit. And it's fucking. It's infuriating to me. I'm just like, dude, you wake the fuck up. Well, anyway. So, yeah, this girl Krista, was doing all me. She was like, all white shooters are all mass shooters. You have a white mass shooter, bro. I was like, all right. So I started posting news articles of Detroit. I posted a news article of Philadelphia. I was like, this just happened this weekend. She's like, she goes, the most recent was a white guy mass shooting. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was a black guy. She's like, no.
Right, because the mass shooting's over what, 3?
It's over 3.
Over 3.
I was like, I threw it. And I was like, this is just me going through just Philadelphia. This black dude shot 6 people over the weekend. I was like, all right, right there. That was the most recent. Right next door in your city. Still denying it. Still, was it cognitive dissonance?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's a mass shooting in the inner cities, in Democrat-run cities, every fucking weekend. Every weekend. Time. But they happen so frequently.
They just don't report on it.
It's not nationally reported.
Right.
Because it doesn't.
Well, it doesn't fit their narrative neither. Well, I feel like.
Not only that, but it doesn't get ratings. Because nobody gives a shit. Because it's like, oh, that's just... I had this argument with my mom, too. I was like, yeah, this just happens every weekend. And she's like, well, that's different. I was like, how the fuck?
But it's not, right?
It's not
like Chicago, right.
I was like, the only reason it's different for you, it's because it's in a place that you don't go. You don't go to Walmart. You don't go there. You go to... it happens at a Walmart where you go to.
Well, they say Chicago is bad.
It happens in a white school where you had white kids go to, because you go there. You used to work there. So it affects you differently, but it's not different. The only difference is it affects you differently because now it's somewhere that you go to, that you frequent, that it might now happen to you. But you don't give a shit if it happens in the hood because you don't fucking live there. So you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I'm just wondering, I don't know if you know the stats or where you can actually look them up. Baltimore's almost just as bad as Chicago, ain't it?
I think so, yeah.
Baltimore's bad.
All those Democrat cities are, it's kind of weird. Like Texas is like different, I guess. But I had the argument with somebody. It was like the Texas shooting, and it was like the gun laws. I was like, well,
it was a gun-free zone.
Yeah, it was a gun-free zone. It was like a
because you might be allowed to open carry, or conceal carry, but if you own a place of business, you can say that you're not welcome there with a gun.
Yeah, that's what I was arguing.
Right. People don't get there. They're like, Texas, everybody's got guns there. Yeah, well, if I'm not allowed in a place with a gun, then I don't know what to tell you.
You're a fish in a barrel.
Right.
Yeah, as I was telling that one person, I was like, yeah, I understand that Texas has looser gun laws, but public and private are two different things. Like if a private business can tell you that you can't carry guns in here, regardless of what state you're in. I mean, you can carry a gun in Texas bakery and tell them to make you a gay cake. I mean, it's not. You can't tell a business how to operate.
Exactly.
So, to a point. I mean, they can't cook people in the ovens or anything like that. But anyway, all right, where were we?
Maybe in the pizza parlors with ping pong pizza.
Ping pong pizza. Oh, this is another. Speaking of pizza, this completely the Epstien thing completely vindicates Alex Jones and
well, it is all. It's just a matter of when it comes out.
Yeah, Pizzagate, or what's the? It's called Pizzagate.
No, Pizzagate. Yeah, mm-hmm. But they're trying to say it was all conspiracy nuts and all. It was
all conspiracy nuts,
and they're trying to blame 8chan, which is like kind of alternative. Like I don't go on like dark web. Like I don't go on 8chan, but I mean,
yeah.
There's 8chan and 4chan.
I'm very superficial when it comes to social media.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad shit, but it's supposed to be unfiltered, so it's unfiltered.
Yeah,
but
it's 4chan, 8chan.
Yeah, but now they're trying to say like them platforms are causing all this hate and alt-right and white supremacy and all this shit.
I was very disturbed when Trump
so they shut it down.
Games. Yeah.
Well, Well, that's I mean, I put a post up a couple of years ago that just said about, and we talked about it too, about people want to be their kids' friends. I play video games. I listen to rap music. I listen to metal music. I listen to whatever. Right. I watch rated R movies, and I didn't go out and I have a plethora of guns now. And I'm not going out and shooting anybody or killing anybody.
Yeah, it's somebody did a great joke.
People problem.
Did a great joke. I play Sims every day, and I still don't own a house.
Right. I mean, hey, yeah, true.
Yeah, it's not. It has nothing to do.
No, it's just something to try and blame it because you can't fix the problem.
I think the number one factor,
it is a mental thing.
Well, the number one most like the common thread among all of them, I think it was like 95% of or something like that, was the single parent household. There's no father there. And I believe that. I think that's important because I think men.
And I don't think it matters on what background or what race or religion or creed you are. I do believe that without a man in the house, it's just totally. I do believe that.
No, I also believe that because I think discipline and boundaries.
Because no matter how loving your mom is, your mom can't control you. If you're a man, I mean, they can't control you. I mean, I see moms get walked over all the time, and we probably did see moms get walked over.
Even a daughter, even a boy or a girl,
right?
They need the father. I think
they need because you're scared of your dad.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think
unless your dad's a cock.
I think soy boy. Yeah. I think men bring discipline and boundaries.
Absolutely.
In a relationship. They're the ones that they're the ones that are pissing in the corner and telling them, that's mine. You don't go there. If you go there, there will be consequences. Mm-hmm. And men are more absolutist than women. Like when men draw a line or say something, they're more principled. This is this, and there's no passing it. And if you pass it, there's going to be consequences. There's no move. They don't. I mean, I'm not saying they don't. They don't, for the most part, move a goalpost for their kid.
No,
they're pretty much. This is the line. You pass it, there will be consequences. And nothing bad for women, but women will. They'll move the goalposts.
They are. I mean, I'll say it. I don't care how much flack I get if somebody hears it. Women are pushovers.
Yeah,
especially for their children.
Yeah, they'll make concessions.
They are. Yeah.
And men. I'm not saying.
I'm not saying all women because some are tough, but it doesn't matter. The majority of women are pushovers, and kids walk all over them.
And I'm not saying men don't do this for everything, but there are certain things that men will draw the line. I mean, there's things that men will make concessions for, but there is certain principle things that men will draw. Like there's an unspoken rule between men, and only men know it, right? That's why it's unspoken, because we've had a father that told us these things, that raised us a specific way to interact with another man.
Yes.
Because when it comes to two men, there is always a possibility of getting a receipt. You try to cash a check, you're going to get a receipt. You know what I mean? There's always a possibility of a confrontation coming back.
Yes.
So there's always going to be a line there. Where women, you just fucking grab, rather fucking do one of these things. But with men, there's a line there. You go over the line, and you're going to get a receipt. You're going to try to cash a check, and you're going to get the receipt. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to state for the record, I love women. Women are beautiful creatures, but women are the cause of all evil. They are, and I'm not saying that about my own wife or your wife. It's just
they picked the goddamn apple. They did.
Yes, I mean, there's been wars over women. You know what I mean? If you think about it, wars have been waged over women.
I had to put this fucking studio back together.
Well, I mean, it's just the way they interact. I mean, guys could be mad at each other and say their piece and it's done and they're friends. Just women hate, they're jealous, shit festers, it just ruins relationships, man. I feel like guys, if you got a friend, you got a friend for life.
Yeah.
Women are just so catty. They're friends to your face and they're stabbing you in the back.
Yeah, men,
she's not as pretty as me. She's not, mine's better. It's like, come on, I don't.
It's easy for men. It's easy for men to bury bodies.
Yes,
this way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They don't. It's easy for them to go. All right, we'll get over that.
Right. So let's get back to the Pizzagate now, Alex Jones thing. So, now I was just. Well, what do you think about Rogan? Now, as much as I like Rogan, I feel
want
like
to do a presidential debate. What's going to happen?
Well, what I worry about Rogan.
I've got another question.
I feel like Rogan knows a lot of shit. I think Rogan's a smart guy, and he knows a lot of shit. But why doesn't he? I feel like he kind of like shelters, and he kind of like, dude, like, come on, man.
He's trying to a good interview leads the interviewer. That's why I'm terrible at this. I just interrupt. But a good interview leads the interview. All right, what do you mean by that? What's going on?
Well, I get that, but I just feel like I think he knows a lot of shit that he kind of just keeps under wraps and like doesn't. I don't know if he's worried about his following or is that just like, dude, spill the fucking beans.
I think he's got.
I'm not looking for him to be Alex Jones. I can go either way with him too. Like I know he's kind of red pilled us, and we know this and that, but it's like there's things about him I don't like. He makes for good TV. You said you have a question. We're talking about. I said about Rogan.
I would love Joe Rogan to do the debates or presidential. My question is, once the mainstream media or whatever, legacy media, whatever you want to call them, once they completely crumble, who's going to do the debates? Who's the monitors now to ask the questions?
I like Rogan. Rogan's the only thing with me is I like Rogan on a lot of topics.
Oh, but before we get to that, just before we get to that, I'll answer your question of why Rogan doesn't do that. I think Rogan's gotten too big for himself. And
I do too, but he's so left-leaning for me, though, too.
He used to be a libertarian.
Right. Now I feel like he leans left.
That's what I'm saying. He's gotten too big for his own good, and now he's way too cautious. That's my feeling.
Okay, that makes sense. Because that's what I was wondering, too.
Yeah,
because for being a libertarian, I think he would be more supportive of Trump, and I almost feel like he doesn't. He's another one who don't like
He's
Trump.
Not fearless anymore.
Right.
He used to be fearless, and now he's making concessions. That's why I don't listen to him as much as I used to listen to every single podcast. I used to listen to every single interview. Now I pick what I'm listening to because I don't want to listen.
He had me pissing my pants though. So about Epstien again, he must have been talking about Epstien, and they showed the cop, and he was like, "How hard do you think he was fucking him?" I had to play it like 5 times. We were pissing our pants because I couldn't believe he said that. I mean, I could, but I couldn't. Like he's watching. He's like, "You see this guy? He's like the Hulk." Yeah. He was talking to somebody, I guess, in the last week.
Oh, his old cellmate.
Yeah, the guy he was like, "Oh, did you see this guy?" He's like, "Oh my god, how hard do you think he was fucking him?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" Rewind. I mean, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he's got.
My boy heard that too, and he started praying. Did he say? I said, "Yeah." Did he really say that? That was great.
Well, he's the Joe Rogan's like he's I wouldn't say our generation, but this generation, whatever generation, Howard Stern. He's the one that's taken over. This generation's Larry King or Howard Stern, however you want to quantify him, he's the figure in interviewing that everyone knows and everyone's listened to.
Right. Basically. So what were you going to ask me? What did we?
My question, because we brought up Joe Rogan, and there was a thing where Joe Rogan should be the moderator
of the
debates, and then when that popped in my head, the question also came, well, who is going to take over? Because eventually these industries are going to fall apart and they're not going to be as they are today. Mm-hmm. I mean, who's going to take over after that? Who are they going to get to moderate? Because it's always been
who I'd like to see?
It's always been a news station.
Who I'd like to see? I'd like to see Candace Owens. Because I think Candace Owens has testified in front of Congress. I think
pundits?
Because she went from being a Democrat too to where, I mean, she told her whole story. I mean, how she, this, that, everything else. And
we didn't even,
to where she's been attacked.
I think she's the one that coined red pill. Or not coined, but she's one of the first people to say red pill.
But so for, she's been through it. I mean, even now, I mean, they're still attacking her. She was just in Philly. I mean, she can't even go. Yeah. She can't even go eat somewhere. You got people yelling at her on a loudspeaker.
I was in Philly at that time.
Were you really?
I didn't know she was there. I wish I would have known. I would have went over there.
Me too. Been like, yo, come on, like, step the fuck off, dude. Go somewhere. Right.
Green hair.
Because they do. I mean, you don't want to stoop to their level, but I would do the same thing. Like, I hate annoying people. Like, or you got any of them. You got Loud Over Crowder. You have her, you have.
But that's on one side of the political spectrum.
Right.
They're going to be.
But see, being whether you're a libertarian or a conservative, you're never going to go and shout somebody down. You're not going to go somewhere and shout somebody down on a loudspeaker and be so fucking annoying.
For now,
right. But I'm thinking maybe they need to taste their own medicine, where you need to show up and be like,
that's what I'm saying,
and keep doing it because it's.
That's how Civil War started.
Right.
Be the Crispus Attucks of...
I mean, as much as I don't... Because I think we touched on this before, and I just told a buddy of this. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be a fucking telephone tough guy or a keyboard warrior. I don't ever want to take somebody's life.
Right.
But, I mean, that's what are you going to do? I mean, at what point does it... You got to fight for your country, you got to fight for your family, you got to fight for values, and what point does it just...
Right.
As much as I don't want it, I kind of do want it. As terrible as that sounds. And that's not attack. That's just it's either you're pro-America or you're not. That's it. It's not. There's no color involved. It's just you're either pro-America or you're not.
That's what I posted. I was like, if you really want to settle it, we should settle this gun debate as soon as possible and just have the Civil War. That's inevitable.
Right.
Because that's where you're leading to.
Right. So, and not even with guns, even with hands. With
so we can go back to raising a weak generation that's going to pass gun laws.
Right.
That's going to start another civil war, and so on and so on.
I don't know if I'd want to get jumped, but I'm telling you, and I try not to get triggered. I try not to get upset. But when I see these Antifa punks, like, you know, somebody goes up and then they start attacking somebody, I wish there were more people like them that are just beat their asses.
Well, there's a confrontation with the Proud Boys, I guess. That would be.
Well, not even that. It was just some dude was doing an interview and he was asking him. He said, "Aren't we in America?" What, I can't, because the one dude was like, "You can't go through there." And he's like, "We're in America. Well, I can't ask you a question."
Oh yeah.
And the one dude like messed with him
to prevent instigation.
Right, and then he was trying to talk.
Are barring media.
And the dude took the thing and hit him in the head with it.
Yeah.
And then he started fighting him, and then somebody tried breaking it up. It's like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna assault me. You know, he's just asking questions, walking with a camera, and then they start attacking him. I mean, they're just a bunch of pussies.
That's what I'm saying. Tim Pool says this. I'm going to that thing. I think it's next week or the week after to, hang out with Tim Pool and all them.
Okay.
But yeah, Tim Pool discusses this a lot, and so does what's his name, Stephen Molyneux. About how we're just heading for a civil war.
Yeah, Stephen Molyneux or Molyneux. Yeah, the bald dude.
Yeah, the bald dude.
I think he's from Britain or something, ain't he? Initially?
No, I think he's from Sweden or something.
Or Sweden, yeah.
He's got a good accent, though.
He does.
He doesn't have.
I used to, a couple years ago, somebody put me on to him and I watched him. Yeah, I haven't watched him in a while.
Super intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like a fucking 200 IQ or something.
Really?
Yeah, he's like super intelligent.
Wow.
Anyway, him and Tim Pool discuss all the time about.
Is he going to be there at this thing?
No, he's too smart.
I got you. Yeah, but Tim Pool wasn't Tim Pool's what, Apple, right?
No, Tim Pool used to be on Vice.
On Vice, okay.
He started Vice with Gavin McInnes and all that.
Okay. And then let me ask you, wasn't Vice left leaning at one time?
No, they were independent.
They were, okay.
And then
because you see a lot of Vice stuff, it seems like they're
left
center.
Now.
Oh, they are left.
Yeah, they used to be like independent.
Okay.
They used to be in the middle, and because they had
I'm thinking Blaze. Is the Blaze? What is the Blaze or Blaze? Blaze
know.
TV or the Blaze?
That's what I'm gonna do after this.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, they used to be. Tim Pool. He says he's center left. I try to listen to his money.
No, I got you right because you got to get.
Yeah, but he's
got to be well rounded. You got to try to be.
Yeah, he's an honest actor.
Right.
All right. So.
Well, hold on. Before you get too far, where's Steven fall? Yeah.
I would say he's libertarian.
Okay. Still, because I feel like I kind of stopped listening to him because I feel like he was starting to lean left for me.
I don't know. I've.
Because initially I liked what he was saying. He was like kind of center aisle. And then I feel like he started leaning.
On his philosophy?
Just all of it.
Well, I like when he's pretty good with facts. Mm-hmm. He's pretty. He doesn't waver on, and that's what when I listen to somebody, when they're talking about facts and their philosophies. There's two different things. Right. Philosophy is an opinion.
Yes.
And facts of what's happening.
Absolutely. That's why I try to watch who I follow too, because you don't want to spread false information.
Yeah. Now, when they start getting into their economic philosophies and their governmental philosophies, those are all opinions, because that's what they are. That's what his opinion is of how the economy should be.
Steven, or you mean Tim?
Anybody.
Right.
Anybody, when they start getting in the government and how government should be and how economy should be, those are philosophies, and they're subjective to the person. Now, sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't agree.
Maybe that was it then.
Yeah.
It was the opinion. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. When it comes to philosophy, I'm just like, all right, we have different on that. What do you say? When it comes to facts, what happened? What are the studies? What's this? What's going on with this? If they're truthful about that, I'll be like, all right, well, they're straight. I just don't agree with their philosophical government should be and how economics should be. But if they're lying about facts, then I'm just like, all right, well, you're just a disingenuous narrator. I can't listen to you. I don't even give a fuck about your. I'm not even going to go into your philosophies, because it's pointless. You're lying to me about this. I don't give a shit about what your opinion is of how government should be, because you're already disingenuous. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? Who's going to be the moderators? Joe Rogan. What's the?
I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea.
Is it going to shift over to internet? But then who chooses them?
But that's it again. Like there is no centrist anymore. It's either you're left or you're right.
Well, the political parties do it through the news agencies.
Right, but it's either Fox News or everybody else.
And
Fox, you got to watch too, because other than like Hannity and Tucker, I mean, a lot of them too. Like they were just bought out by somebody else too, or by Disney or. One of them, one of the big things, just I think absorbed them, because that's why Janine Perillo got jammed up.
Viacom.
Right. Well, Janine Perillo, Judge Janine, she got jammed up. Remember, they took her off the air for a little bit because she made a comment.
Oh, I don't know.
That happened in between in the 4 months.
The only people I listen to, and it's not from the TV. I'll on YouTube. I'll watch it. Clips on. I like Tucker. Sometimes Hannity. I don't really get into Hannity.
No, it's always the big bombshell that's not a fucking bombshell.
I like Tucker. I don't like everything he says.
No, because I feel like Tucker's another one. He just talks over everybody. Like he's kind of condescending. Like, dude, hit him with the facts. I like Dan Bongino a lot because
Dan Bongino. I like the libertarians on there. I like Gutfeld. He says he's a libertarian. I would say he's more of a conservative. I like Kennedy. She's a libertarian. I like Judge Napolitano. Love him.
See, I did, but I'm not sure, though, too, with some of his shit. I mean, I'm not sure. Because I always liked him. I always thought he was a great pick for like Trump administration on. I feel like he's kind of went against Trump on some some of the things that I thought he should have been totally with.
Wrong.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it could have been. Right. I mean,
some
listen, I don't follow.
Wrong.
I believe that. I don't follow lockstep with Trump.
I'm not. It's not a scarlet letter just for Right. I'm not a one.
Listen, Trump needs to pass the national reciprocity for concealed carry.
Yeah, I think the House just passed it, which is weird because it's Democrats.
No, because they couldn't have. See, everybody keeps. See, you got to look at the timestamp on that because everybody keeps posting that one thing and saying, "Oh yeah, kind of that passed in 15," and then it kind of got tabled again. So like it never.
So it's still in the Senate.
So maybe you know more than I know.
Went back to the House.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. How does that?
I read the headline. I didn't get into it.
Right, but what I'm saying is, how does that work? So
because for me, that's
right. But if a bill passes,
something like that is pie in the sky.
Yes.
Where I'm just like, I'm not even.
I got you.
I'm not even going to get into it until it's actually on the president's desk.
But see, that is something I don't know. So if it gets through Congress, okay, if it's passed through the House,
right?
Or I'd say Congress. If it gets through the House,
right,
and the Senate. Or it gets kicked back to the House and gets tabled. That's what I was wondering.
There's got to be a timetable on
right,
that.
if it passed, so then does it just die in the House? That's what I'm wondering. Because isn't that what happens? A bill gets passed and then it dies.
It's got to have a certain time frame.
So it probably died.
Because you can't just have bills pile up in the Senate. We'll just wait because
they passed, and then we took the Senate last November.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So before November, they should have voted on it, and it didn't. They shelved it or tabled it.
I think it's my assumption is it's held in the Senate until there's until until there's another re-election in the House and the Senate, and then anything that's tabled probably dies or gets kicked back because it's a new House.
Right, now it is. So now it wouldn't even pass. Now I feel like it wouldn't even pass the House because we lost.
If something gets sent up and then 2 years passes and then there's another House, I think that becomes null because it's a new House.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm not neither.
If I were to set up the government, I would set it up like that because it's a new House. It's a different House than the House that sent that, and it's also a different Senate that's sent that's voting on that.
Right.
So if it's a new House and a new Senate, it could be completely different. Maybe they change their mind, and the reason the people changed their mind is because they sent that bill to the Senate.
Right.
And people were like, "Fuck that. We'll just vote these other people and that dies, so another bill comes up."
Well, that's what I was worried because we lost the House, but we gained the Senate. So it passed the House, but it didn't get voted on in the Senate.
I think we're gonna win. I think I hate using we's and us's.
Right, because I'm not a rhino.
I think I just don't like it because it takes other people's agency. Where everybody's an indivial. So if I go, we got to do this. I'm just like, I'm taking your agency.
We're going to take it back in November.
we are. Oh man, sorry. No, I think the House is going back Republican.
But see, I don't know with AOC. He's challenging her for her seat. Is that because there was nobody running against her? That's what I was wondering.
Pelosi said it best. You could. A ham sandwich can win.
But has she been in 2 years already?
In those districts.
Or no, she just won last year.
Yeah,
has it been 2?
Yeah. The presidential.
Oh yeah, I guess it was because last year when everything flipped, it was 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Damn, man, that's how.
It's going to be 4 years.
Time's flying. Well, no, I don't mean that. I'm saying the midterms. Right. So midterms would have been 2 years through.
Yeah. Midterms. That's why they're called.
Right.
Midterms.
Yeah. No, I just for some reason I wasn't even thinking it was that
in between a presidential term.
Wow. I feel like we wasted almost a whole year to get Kavanaugh in. You know what I mean? Like, because it was all that infighting.
Well, it's just this is there's a rise in there's so much accessibility to news that it feels a year feels like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
True. Because there's so much happening. You're collecting so much information just on a daily basis that doesn't even involve the fucking news. That just basic people, your fucking friends and shit like that. Just basic shit. There's 4 Netflix apps with Hulu, Netflix. There's so much media and news is overcomes that also, and that's always pumping, and you always see it. So there's so much information that it's like. We're how like a computer used to be a whole fucking
it was a whole building.
It was a whole room, right?
They said the first computer was like it took up a building. It took like 3 floors in a building.
Yeah, and it had the capacity of a modern day fucking calculator watch.
Yeah,
So imagine
now we have supercomputers we carry around in our pockets.
Not just that, but just your fucking brain itself. Now you've gone from basically before the internet being a fucking computer that's the size of a room, to a fucking supercomputer. So you're housing so much more information in your head than you have ever in your entire life. I mean, you've gone to that. You're looking at that. You're looking at you in high school going, fuck, we were so stupid.
I wish I knew what I knew now in high school.
Yeah. I wish. Yeah.
For real.
But I'm just saying, it's the same concept. We're just bombarded with so much information now that time feels like you're fucking just jam packing 10 years into 2 weeks, and it's just because you're just all that information just over and over again. You're not fucking taping the Goonies off of
I just
Sunday
can't believe
matinee.
how slow the wheels of justice turn.
Yeah, well, that's on purpose. It's supposed to be like that. Because you're not supposed to rush the judgment in our system. Because that's when that's when you get to lining 10 people up on a wall and just shooting them in the back of the head.
Well, we need 4 more years. I say we again.
4 more years.
We need 4 more years so we can.
All of us.
All of us need 4 more years so we can hopefully see some prosecutions.
Yeah, he's gonna win. There's no fucking. What are you gonna do? The kid fuckers. I love that closing line to people.
Kid fuckers.
Because there's nothing they can do about it. They can't fucking deny it though. I'm just like you're fucking. Your lead guy. You're the headliner in your party is fucking sniffing girls' hair.
Well, we can go on a whole nother thing, but I don't know if you've seen this today. They're talking about Clinton, so I'm going to make a prediction right now. Hillary's going to get ill. Hillary and Bill might get ill in the next year, and they're going to go away. They're either going to die or going to go away because
China.
Something just came out about China. Did you hear about that?
What? Well, they devalued their currency.
No, I'm talking about her email.
We haven't even gotten to the Hong Kong protesters.
Well, her private email was going to another thing
in China.
Basically, yes.
Oh,
and they were almost reading her emails in real time. So they don't know, and that was when she was Secretary of State. So it's all coming out.
Is it wild that Epstein had a fucking painting of Bill Clinton in that blue dress?
So my buddy was giving me a hand today, and we were talking about
Bill's
that.
Bill's been in that fucking apartment, right? I mean, he's been in that place. He must have seen that painting.
Well, they said that the lady who painted it didn't even realize it was in Epstein's house. I don't know how true that is. But you're right. I mean,
it wasn't. No,
supposedly whoever
she painted it.
She painted it
for an anonymous person, or
I guess,
a ghost, or a ghost buyer.
That's what I don't know.
Epstein.
Well, she would have had to have him, right?
Epstein
Didn't he pose or no?
Money
She just
to buy that, and then you know what I mean, a ghost buyer.
Maybe right.
You know,
but for what?
Mocking to mock. That's what I would do. You put a painting of somebody that you know you've got the goods on. And you put a painting of the one thing that he was actually nailed for.
Well, I guess, but I'm just wondering, like, as powerful as they were. I mean, did he think he was more?
I gotcha.
Do you think he was more powerful? Did he think in his own mind he was more powerful than they were?
If you've got,
I'm saying than the Clintons, because I mean the Clintons hold a lot of juice.
Yeah, but if you've got tapes on them and all that shit of him fucking kids.
No, I get that, but I mean...
You are automatically, because you have that over their head.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, how many other people? So that's what I'm saying. So did he have a handler? Was it CIA? Was it Mossad? Because, it just goes around and around and around.
To control high-profile characters?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It's so...
Because even the CIA, isn't the CIA basically set up to do mercenary work and different stuff, contracting work overseas? Doesn't the CIA almost have no jurisdiction in the United States? They're not supposed to operate.
They're not supposed to operate
at all.
No, just they're supposed to operate with the NSA, CIA, the NSA, and then the FBI. They're 3 different departments. One's national security, one's federal, which is activity over between state lines, and the CIA is
central. But I mean, for what? Central what?
It's supposedly for foreign operations.
But I mean, who actually controls the CIA? Is it the president?
It's the president. It's an agency under the presidency.
Right.
That's why he can.
So you would think,
fire him.
Okay. Because I'm wondering. So at one point, Obama ran the CIA. He controlled the CIA.
Yeah. Well, not. I mean, there's.
Well, right. But I'm just saying. So you would think
the only thing you can do is hire direct. You can. You can fire. You can. The only thing you can do as president is hire and fire the director.
Okay.
And then that person has the authority to fire whoever is in that department.
How do you think Obama got elected? Honestly. Because the more I think about
it, change.
Well, I'm saying with all the juice the Clintons had, do you think they said that there was a 20-year thing to destroy the United States? Basically, they got Obama in.
One thing the Trump presidency has proven is they do not control the elections. It's too decentralized. You're talking about this is why they want to move to a popular vote, because popular votes you can control those. The way voting works,
how could they control them through rigged voting? Because all that's coming out too. Like they keep saying there's a lot of states
it's easier to
that they said how many illegals voted in these elections.
You've got one vote and it's a popular vote. Where's it going to go? I mean, they're going to get rid of the small municipality. They're just going to
right.
All you would have to do is just vote. There's no going to your local school. Well, they'll probably go to your local school, but they'll send that to the fucking state, and the state sends it to the federal. There won't be the reason why it's so decentralized, because for one thing, you go to a school and those people in the school or fire hall or whatever, and they count the votes there, and they don't send the votes, they send the count, right? And they keep the votes. And there's people that oversee that from both parties. Allegedly, they're supposed to. Yeah. From both, there's representatives from both parties that oversee the votes, the vote count. So that's just one fucking fire hall. That's not even the municipality. There's a fire hall. There's a couple fire halls within that municipality.
Yeah, that they all have voting booths.
They all have voting booths in the churches. Those people. So it's completely decentralized. There's no way you can rig that. Absolutely.
But is there always a
and even if
I like the idea of having a paper ballot to back it up. I mean, what happens to all the? You're supposed to have a stub.
Yeah.
But it depends on who controls that.
But even that